Footy action, Friday footy action, and we're on. All right, hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, we are live as the Newcastle Knights. We're taking on the Sydney Roosters. The Sydney Roosters here in a big top 8 clash here, and two teams that are obviously fighting for the top 4. The Roosters are in the third position right now, whilst the Knights are currently situated in 6th position right now. So this is a very big game in terms of the top 8. Roosters only need one more win to guarantee a top 8 for the rest of the season, and the Knights still just need the 2 wins for the rest of the season to guarantee themselves in the top 8. But ultimately, they're both still playing for top 4 here, and it's not completely out of the equation if the Knights actually jumping the Roosters with a win here. Actually, no, it is, because they're 4 points behind them. Sorry, I was just looking at points differential for a second there. But look, overall, I really don't know how to read this game. I think it is very interesting because the Knights are on fraud alert for a reason. And the Roosters are kind of the same thing with the Sharks, where it's like, I don't know how either of these teams aren't on fraud alert right now. Realistically, though, you know, the Roosters should be far better than what they've been showing recently in terms of this season. I do feel like they've really got to chug along and start to really prove themselves going into these finals now. And, you know, the Knights have had a miraculous season regardless, considering that they were, you know, in the wooden spoon last year and tipped for that bottom 4 again. At the end of the day, they're in 6th position right now, and I don't think they'd really give a shit about fraud alert because this is a successful season for them regardless with Justin Holbrook compared to Manu O'Brien. So let's get into this game here. Let's do a little bit of a preview. Don't forget, we've also got another game here today, which will be the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the Melbourne Storm right after this. So put your feet up and grab a beer, grab a brewski, grab a drink, grab some food, and chill out as we've got about 4.5 hours worth of footy to come. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new around here. Let's rock and roll. So Newcastle Knights are 6th position and the Roosters are 3rd position, and this is at McDonald's Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Now the ins here for the Knights: Cody Hopwood, Elijah Salesa-Leon-Moana, and Kyle McCarthy, with the outs being Dane Gagai, Kalen Ponga, and Lachlan Crouch. The fullback is Fletcher Sharp, shifts from the 6 into the 1, with the wingers being Dominic Young and Greggy Martiu. Centers of Fletcher Hunt and Bradman Best. The 5'8" is now Sandon Smith, who was in the 14, and he comes into into the halves, with Dylan Brown as the halfback. Then you've got the front row forwards with Trey Mooney and Cody Hopwood, with the number 9 being Phoenix Crossland, and he's also the captain here today, actually, crazily enough. Back row, Dylan Lucas and Francis Manolalua, with the 13 being Matty Croker. And the interchanges, Tyson Frizzell, Thomas Kahn, Harrison Graham, Brodie Jones, Kyle McCarthy, and Elijah Salesa Leon Moana, with Justin Holbrook as the coach. Obviously, massive news there in terms of Kalen Ponga being out, and also in terms of Dane Gagai being out. Dane Gagai is off to the Broncos next year, whilst Kalen Ponga, obviously, we're just back into this little bit of an injury cycle again, unfortunately, which I hate to say, touch wood, doesn't happen. You know, we always want to see the best players out there on the pitch and healthy and flying as per usual, but unfortunately, Kalen Ponga is out, means they have to shift around their spine, and you just don't want that. In this point of the season, you don't want to be tinkering too much in terms of your spine. Kalen Ponga being out is obviously a forced change, but do you think that putting Fletcher Sharp from the 6 into the fullback is worthwhile to change the halves combination again? Because if we go back past the last 5-6 years, the biggest problem for the Knights, whether it be forced or by decision, they're always changing their halves. They have changed their halves nearly every week for the last 6 years. And again, a lot of this will come down to the fact that they have had to, and they've been forced to make these changes over time, inclusive of today. I just feel like I would have kept the 6 and the 7 of Fletcher Sharp and Dylan Brown, because I believe that is the halves going forward. Obviously, Crossland is the number 9. It means Sandon Smith stays in the 14. Maybe you put Fletcher Hunt back there, or maybe you figure out somebody else to go back there. I'm not too sure. I probably would maybe look towards like a Fletcher Hunt or something like that. But the point is that I would have preferred for them to keep a stable halves pairing, which is something that they haven't done for many, many years now. I would have liked to have seen that, but obviously that's not the case here today. Look, the Knights have been going well this season, but they have been slipping up recently. So last week, they obviously lost to the Sharks 20-18. Now, there's a common theme recently with the Knights where they let the game get away from them, and in the last 5 to 10 minutes, they actually come back into the game. Like what the Broncos were doing last year, just obviously not able to win the game because they lost 20-18 to the Sharks under those circumstances. They also lost to the Rabbitohs 26-24 under those circumstances. Now, those 2 games, obviously losses. The major negative, is that they let the game get away from them. And the positive is that they chased hard, but also still wasn't good enough. Right? So those 2 losses are still pretty rough to see, despite the fact there are only 2 points between the 2 of them. But then obviously you go to a winning stretch, but the winning stretch wasn't spectacular. They beat the Dolphins 13-12, but the Dolphins had all of their players out with origin and injury and all the likes. And it wasn't great at all. They had the worst game of the season when they beat the Tigers 12-6 there. You know, at least they got the 2 points, but it was probably the worst game of this season. And then you go back to the Dragons game, where they only beat the Dragons, who are in 17th and have won 2 games this season, by 2 points, 22-20. And the Dragons actually scored more tries than the Knights in this game, which is a concern. Then you got the bye, and then you go back to a loss to the Storm, 32-30. Now, look, the Storm was starting to maybe show some signs of life, and this was actually probably their first game where they started to show some signs of life against the Newcastle Knights there, but overall, it's still not a great result there at all, regardless of the loss. The win against the Eels was a close one, 2022. You probably would have liked a little bit more there. Their last big time, really convincing win was against the Titans back in round 11, 36-12. They weren't great for 50 minutes of that game, and then just absolutely pumped them home strong in that last 30. And then obviously go back to the game against the Dragons where they won 44-10. And then you got the 42-38 against the Rabbitohs. So overall, you look through their season, and it's not convincing, but I don't think that we're looking for a convincing this year from Newcastle. We're just happy to see them up there competitive in that top 8 right now. There's no expectations of a premiership. There's no expectations of prelim. There's no expectations at all, really. I think you should just be happy to be here. And this is a good sign for the future of the Newcastle Knights, and they can really, go forward with Dylan Brown and Fletcher Sharp and, hopefully Callum Ponga, provided he's healthy, and you've got, great backline, and you just really need to, get a bit more consistency out of your forwards, really. But, overall, the Knights are in a pretty solid position going forward, but I just don't think you should be expecting a fantastic amount out of them this year, because if you look through their schedule, you look through the results, even when they're getting wins, it's not been fantastic. It really hasn't been. But at the end of the day, they are getting the win. They're just simply getting it done. So, similar to the Cowboys, I'd probably say the Knights are a bit more exciting to watch the Cowboys, though. You look at their attack, and the Knights have scored this season through 18 games, 459 points. So they've still got a bye to come, which means that it's definitely still not guaranteed that they're a top 8 team, but they will make the top 8 because they only need 2 more wins. But with that bye, it reduces it down to they've only got 6 games to play now rather than 7. But 459 points scored for the Knights this year. Now, that's behind the Panthers. It's behind the Warriors with a game in advance too. It is slightly in front of the Roosters, but the Roosters have a game to play, so you can't include them. They're behind the Sharks. They're behind the Dolphins. They're behind the Rabbitohs. They're also behind Manly. And that's it. So currently they are the 7th best attacking team in the competition in Newcastle Knights. They would be the 7th best attacking team, which means that it's probably a little bit less than I actually thought. I thought they probably would have been more so around that 4-5 range. But I guess the recent weeks have really where that's been tailed off. Otherwise, they probably would be in that 4-5 range, maybe even 3 range. But it has been tailing off in recent weeks. And then in comparison to the defense of 422, now that's behind the Panthers, the Warriors, the Roosters, the Sharks. You guys know I've not been a Knights defensive backer all season long. The Dolphins, the Rabbitohs, the Manly Seagulls, the Bulldogs, and that's it. So they're the 9th best defensive team in the competition. Actually, hold on a second. 441. How much are they? Oh, yeah, okay, slightly just. Yeah, slightly just. So they are the 9th best defensive team in the comp, and they are the 7th best attacking team in the comp. So 6, 7, 8, 9 is kind of where you would expect the Knights to be right now. It is pretty. They're just on the upper end. They've just got that B plus kind of deal, A plus kind of deal to put them into the 6th of that 6, 7, 8, 9 area, because statistically they don't actually warrant on the attack and the defense to be in that top 5 and to be in that top 4. But obviously, long way to go this season. There's still, 7 rounds to go. So anything can happen. But statistically right now, they're well deserving of their position in that 6, 7, 8, 9 region. And they've just got that plus the fact that they've got to that 6 rather than down to the 9, which would be like a minus. You know what I mean? So very big game for them today. Plus 37. They're going to start fixing that, but I don't think they'll be expecting to be fixing too much when they're going up against the Sydney Roosters. Now, their ins, James Tedesco and Robert Toya, massive ins there. With the outs being Rex Bassingthwaite and Tommy Talau. The fullback is James Tedesco, who is the captain, with the wingers being Daniel Tupou and Mark Nonatawase. Centers are Billy Smith and Robert Toya. 5'8" is Cherry Evans, with the halfback being Sam Walker. Front row forwards are Nafahu, White and Spencer Leniu, with the number 9 being Reece Robson. Back row of Nat Butcher and Siwa Wong, with the 13 being Victor Radley. And the interchanges Hugo Savalas, Alessi Faketi, Egan Butcher, Connor Watson, Cody Ramsey, and Taylor Lasalu, with the coach being Trent Robinson. Roosters, I tell you what, like at the end of the day, you are up there in third position. I'd like to see you start to convince us, though. Like, I'd really like to see you start to get some convincing wins where you just look brilliant from the outset and you just get the job done. This competition is so open right now. The Panthers are really shaking at the most crucial point of the season. I know it's probably just a bit of a slump in form, but the Panthers are shaking as we currently speak. The Warriors are no perfect product. They struggled against the Dragons last week. We need to see the Warriors go and prove themselves too. I feel like now is the time that we need to see one of these 4 teams, one of these 5 teams, or one of these 9 teams, 8 teams, anyone you can see on this screen. We need to see somebody stand up right now, because I don't think there is a single team inside this top 9 that you can convincingly say has just been undeniable, because the Panthers have definitely not been undeniable recently. The Warriors and Roosters and the Sharkies, you're not saying they're undeniable. The Dolphins obviously got pumped by 66-0 2 weeks ago. The Knights, we've already gone through them. The Rabbitohs, absolutely not. Cowboys and Manly, pretty similar stick. So I need to see the Roosters stand up here and be the team that they promised to be pre-season, because if you go back to my pre-season predictions, I had the Roosters to win the minor premiership. I genuinely believed that they had a really good team and Cherry Evans coming in was going to help out Sammy Walker as long as he stood back and let Sam Walker define the team from the halfback position. Now, they are in third position, and with a win here, they'd only be 1 win short of the Panthers. And again, the Roosters get to play the Panthers in about 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. Warriors also play them in between. So the Roosters are still a genuine chance of this minor premiership, and they've got the team here. Like, there's no excuses. 1 through 7 is first choice. James Tedesco, Daniel Tupou, Billy Smith, Robert Toy, Martin Ontuase, Cherry Evans, Sam Walker. It's first choice. Front row forwards, Reece Robson, Nafahu White. I guess Lindsay Collins is out, but Spencer Leniu is sweet. Nafahu White's fantastic. Reece Robson start. Nat Butcher, Siwa Wong. So I guess Angus Crichton is out. And Victor Radley there. Like, this is a team that should definitely have a chance to win that premiership. When you look at the players they've got on paper, that team should be having a chance to win the premiership. And I feel like they just need to really establish themselves right now and say that they're the team in the top 8 that should be winning this premiership and should be taking out the Panthers and should be getting the job done. Someone's going to make a statement, and it has to be over these next couple of weeks. I know there's still 7 weeks to go, but you've got to make a statement, because right now I can't see who I would be. I'm still probably leaning with the Panthers, but not confidently as much as I would have been, weeks ago, months ago, and throughout this entirety of the season. So, yeah, look, that's the Roosters. And again, they only need to win 1 more game to guarantee themselves in the top 8 with 13 wins. They've got the Knights here today, the Cowboys, the Bulldogs, the Panthers, the Tigers, the Dolphins, the Rabbitohs. So whilst it's not the easiest of easy draws home, it's like the Roosters are definitely getting at the very least 1 win there, and they probably go and beat, like a Knights, Cowboys, Bulldogs, Tigers, 50-50 Dolphins, but they should be beating them there. Rabbitohs 50-50 because of the rivalry, and also probably fighting with the top 8. Panthers, obviously a difficult matchup there. So, like, the ones that they should be expecting to win against would be the Knights, the Cowboys, the Bulldogs. They should go 3 in a row here. The Tigers, and that's the expectations. So then that's well and truly into the finals. And then in comparison to the Newcastle Knights, who still need the 2 wins, and they've got a bye to come, which is a negative, it's a detractor. The bye is in round 27, so they've only got until round 26 to guarantee their spot in that top 8. They need to get to the 13 wins, and 13 still might not be enough, but it probably will be. But their points differential is not good, so 13 wins might not be good enough if they don't sort their points differential out quick smart. So they need 2 wins out of their remaining 6 games. They've got the Roosters here, then they've got the Broncos away next week, the Raiders away the week after, the Titans at home, Manly at home, and the Warriors away, and then a bye. This is not actually a guarantee right now. This is not an easy run home for the Newcastle Knights. A lot of tricky games here. The Roosters are going to be predicted to win this game. If the Roosters win this, they now need to win 2 out of their remaining 5. They take on the Broncos away at Suncorp. Now, I'd like to see this Broncos-Cowboys game first to really see if that Broncos was a one-off last week or not. But there's a chance the Broncos could win that game up at Suncorp. And then they would need to win 2 out of the remaining 4. They play the Raiders away from home in Canberra, and the Raiders are desperate to make the 8. And obviously, they're still in with a chance right now with them getting some winning form. That's a tough one. The Titans, look, they should be winning this game here, the Knights, but it's always a very 50-50 affair with the Knights and the Titans. It always is. And last year, broke the hoodoo that we both have, where the Titans actually won in Newcastle last year, being down 20-0 and came back to 24-20 in the last few moments. You should be winning that one. I'd be saying you are going to win that one, but also it's a 50-50 matchup, especially with the fact that the Titans are actually looking a lot better recently. And again, there is that 50-50 thing that the Knights and Titans do have over the years. Then Manly, obviously, they're fighting for the top 8. And then the Warriors away, who might be fighting for a minor premiership before their bye. They've just got to get 2 wins. Because if they somehow lose to the Roosters, the Broncos, and the Raiders here, they would need to win 2 out of their remaining 3, Titans, Manly, and Warriors. You'd really be hoping that it's going to come up against the Titans and Manly, because you wouldn't want to be travelling over to New Zealand knowing that you don't have a round 27 game and you still need to get to the 13 wins. You wouldn't want that. And again, 32 still might not be enough, because it might come down to, and probably will come down to, points differential. And technically speaking, 34 points is still a potential for it. So look, long way to go here, but the Knights need to get a move on. And look, I think you can probably understand from the way I'm talking, I do think the Roosters win this game here today, but they're also potentially a fraud alert. They are. Like this Roosters team, they should be winning this game, and they should be winning this game well for mine. I think that they've got a better attack, and I think that they surely would have a better defense. 342 against, they've actually conceded 80 less points than the Newcastle Knights have. 80 less points than the Knights. 342. They are the 3rd best defensive team in the competition, the Sydney Roosters. And the attacking wise, they've scored 426. Now, this is with a game behind Newcastle, but that is 459 for the Knights. 36, 46, 56. That's 33 more points the Knights have scored. You wouldn't put it out of the equation if the Roosters get into that today. You wouldn't put it out of the equation if the Roosters getting to that in general. So they're pretty similar in terms of their attack, because let's have a look. So 426 divided by how many games they've played? It is 17. 426 divided by 17 is 25. So maybe not. Maybe the Knights are slightly just above them in terms of attack, because that'd be 25 that you would add on for the average. But it comes down to this Knights defense here today. It really does, which I don't really back in. I think that the Knights defense looks better than it is, based on the fact that they've got the ball more often than not, and they're able to hold the ball and attack. If they hold the ball, they win games a lot of the time. If they don't hold the ball, they'll probably lose games, because they're not that great defense. They're pretty good on the old attack. So let's see how it pans out. I'm taking the Roosters here. I think there is a world where it's 13 plus Roosters. I'm going to give the respect to the Knights and say 1-12 here, and hopefully it's a good game. But I think there is a world where 13 plus is entirely possible as well for the Chooks. And look, sure, the Knights are at home. Maybe they get up and sneak one here. But the Roosters aren't confident enough to guarantee a win, but I just lean that way for sure. Now, in regards to the ladder, the Sydney Roosters are in 3rd position on 30 points. They've got 12 wins, which is equal with the Warriors on 30 points and 12 wins. And the Warriors have a plus 202, and they play the Bulldogs tomorrow, whilst the Roosters have a plus 84. If the Roosters win this game, they would go above the Warriors into 2nd for the time being. And you really want to be looking at fixing that points differential, because 84 is not amazing. But they would go into 2nd. They'd be still 1 win behind the Panthers, but the Panthers have a plus 284, which is quite literally 200 points separating the two of them. So that is very unlikely that the Roosters, by the end of this season, will be able to change around a 200 differential positively for them, and the Panthers to lose by enough. Yes, they play each other, but still 200 is 200. So realistically, the Roosters are going to have to win 2 more games than the Panthers do this year. Plus, obviously, they would need to enforce. They have to beat the Panthers in a couple of weeks' time. They have to, if they want a chance at that minor premiership. But for the time being, the Roosters would go into 2nd, and it would come down to the Warriors winning against the Bulldogs or not. If the Roosters lose this game, well, the Sharkies, they play Manly on, I think it's Sunday. They get to play Manly. If the Sharks, they've got a plus 125. They play Manly on 28 points. If they are to, it is the last game of the round, they are to win that game, the Sharks would actually go into 3rd. Roosters would go down to 4th. The Dolphins are on plus 84. If the Dolphins, no, they've had their bye, so they can't get an extra 2 points. But yeah, the Dolphins are on plus 84, so they're still going to be behind them, but they're only going to be 2 points behind them, and the Roosters still have a chance within the next week or two to go back below the Dolphins and out of that top 4. So yeah, the lowest they could go is into 4th, but that's provided the Sharks do beat Manly. If the Sharks don't beat Manly, they'll stay in third. But if the Roosters win, they'll be second, and it just comes down to the Bulldogs being the Warriors. The Knights, on the other hand, is a little bit more precarious. So they are on 37 points differential right now, on 26 points by themselves with 11 wins. They still have a bye to play, as you guys know. If they win this game, well, they could go above the Dolphins, but they would have to win by 47, 57, 67, 77, 48 points or more. Very, very unlikely. Won't be happening here. So they won't be going above the Dolphins' points differential, and they won't go above the Sharks' points differential. So the highest they will go with a win is in 6th, but they'll be equal with the Dolphins and potentially the Sharks, depending on their result. But they will be in 6th regardless. If they lose this game here, the Knights, the Rabbitohs have a plus 76. If the Rabbitohs in the game right after this, will be live for the Rabbitohs Storm right after this game. If the Rabbitohs beat the Storm, they will go above Newcastle, so the Knights will drop down into 7th position. The Cowboys play the Broncos. Now, points differential-wise, the Cowboys are still just atrocious. Minus 36. You know, it's so dangerous with them and Manly. Manly on plus 176 will just plus 126 will just slice them up with a win and the Cowboys loss. But the Cowboys, yeah, they would need the Knights to essentially lose by about 40, and then they would have to beat the Broncos by about 40 to go up by the Knights, and the Knights would go down to 8th position there. But look, likely scenario, either 6th or 7th is what you would probably say for Newcastle with a loss. Just depends on what you think about that Rabbitohs Storm game. But there we go, guys. That is the ladder. That is the preview for today's game. Obviously, schmackamundos, the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here, and hopefully we get a cracker Friday before we've got... Like, we're into the thick of it now. This is the thick end of the season. It's going to be juicy, son. It's going to be a juicy run home. Taj's Knights might win if it goes to Golden Point. Okay, but what? Knights might win if it goes to Golden Point. Like, okay. Dragons might win the comp if they get to the grand final. My auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. Like, what's the point of this comment? Knights might win if it goes to Golden Point. Like, okay, sure. Yeah. The Knights will probably win if they score more points. That's the same vibe as what you've just commented. You know, the Panthers might have a chance to win today if they were playing in this game. Like, are you just saying the Knights win in a really strange way? Because that just... Because that's just all over the shop, that comment. Nate says, g'day, big fella. Bring on the spoon bowl this weekend. I just don't even really... Like, with all due respect, Dragons fans, and you, Nate, I just don't see it too much as a spoon bowl. And again, with all due respect, because... We've got, like, the Titans right now are on 5 wins. The Dragons are on 2 wins. Titans are minus 106. The Dragons are minus 247. So that means that, let's just go and assume the Dragons win this weekend, right? I was going to assume they win by, let's go give you 20. So the Titans will go to minus 126. The Dragons will go to minus 227. So you would still need to swing around a 100 points differential. Now, the Titans play like 5 out of their remaining 6 games at home for the rest of the season. Which is just insane. Well, I think it's 5 out of the last 7 is at home, and it's not insane of a run home as well. You would then, provided you got that plus 20 and the Titans got that minus 20, and you win, you would still be 2 wins behind the Titans. You would need them to essentially lose out and then win 3 more games than the Titans do. The Dragons would have to get another 3 more games because points differential wise, it probably isn't going to go in the Dragons' favour. So that's why it's like, for the time being, I've just got the Dragons as the spoon. I think it's too much to accumulate as we currently speak, because it's not necessarily an easy ride home for the Dragons either. Both teams been playing a lot better. I do think the Dragons have a great chance to win this weekend. I do. But I just feel like that spoon's pretty much locked up at this point. Until proven otherwise. If it changes, then I'll put my hand up and I'll say it's changed. But I just don't think a win this week does really much for you guys at all. I think it gives you some sense of hope, I guess. But you would need a lot to go in your favour for the back end of the season. Because again, you would need the Titans to lose every single game, essentially. Peter says, do you think Dewey is trying to agitate his way out of the Tigers? What are your thoughts on Isaac Moses? Yeah, not a fan of Isaac Moses. Want to wait for more information in regards to Dewey. Jason says, don't think Dewey has many supporters on this one. For some reason, he has some. I disagree with Dewey. And it's also the reason what's really switched me away from Dewey. And I wasn't even ever on Dewey's side. But I think what's adamantly made me not be on Dewey's side is that Noddy, Kamali, came out and said this is not the first time that this has happened. You know, when he was caretaker, when he was coach of the Tigers, this happened. So it's a running theme, and it's not a good look for Adam Dewey. It really isn't. Benny says, hope you're good with this footy weekend. One question, but why the hell is the time 1 p.m. on the game on the screen? So, Benny, I'm in Kazakhstan right now. So I'm in Almaty, so that's why it's 12:52 p.m. for me over here. So it'll start in 10 minutes' time. I'm in Almaty. Nate says, Moses is by far the worst player in the NRL. He's an absolute turd. I don't think that Moses has too many supporters. Isaac Moses. No, I don't think he does. How many NRLs people saying Eels were robbed? No. And sure, they had very rough calls, but so did the Panthers. Yeah, no. Man, listen, every single game, everyone's always claiming robbed. That's why I do try to stick away from blaming referees for the most part. Like, the thing is that I think I'm pretty adamant in regards to my thoughts on Ashley Klein in specifically Origin 1. And there are definitely games that I believe deserve to have referee criticism. But I just feel like the way that people talk about referees, they don't actually know what they're picking out, or they'll just pick out something that was 50-50 or maybe even 40-60 in their favour. But they'll pick out anything just to use it as the excuse of no, they don't want to have and take accountability against their friends. So, like, people will go to work and they'll be with their friends and they'll get ripped in. So, of course, the easiest coping mechanism will be to just say, oh, no, we're robbed. I think it is much better just to say that you were beaten by the better team for the most part. But then last night, there were some controversial calls, and we're in a real crisis in terms of refereeing right now. The officiating is in a real serious crisis in the NRL, where people aren't even necessarily wrong to feel aggrieved and to feel robbed, but also it's not necessarily true that you are being robbed. Like, for example, the Eels weren't good enough to win that game last night. The Panthers were awful, and they also had 2 men sent to the sin bin for 20 minutes in total. And the Eels never deserved to win that game, but also there were calls in the game that went against the Eels, that also went against the Panthers last week. And do you see the merry-go-round here? Do you see the circus as the NRL officiating? You know, last week you see the Panthers get done over and get, some awful calls against them. You know, Broncos have had bad calls. Titans have had bad calls. We had an awful call the NRL apologised for last weekend with the offside of Garrick. And they literally apologised, the weekly Monday apology. Long story short, what I'm trying to say here is that it's the referees are in a serious state where I think the NRL has unfortunately thrown them under the bus. The NRL has changed rules every single year. The NRL will change rules in the middle of the fucking year. They will change the rules in the middle of the year. And if anybody wants to debate that, we'll try and debate the fact that where has the disruptor gone? Where has the one-handed rule gone? That's just this year. We can go through last year's rule changes. We can go through the year before that, the year before that, the year before that, 10 years ago. We can do it all. But there are two specific... And also, mind you, explain the lack of six agains recently. So starting off the season, and we've had an insane amount of six agains, people criticise it, and now the six agains have been reduced. Why do you change the rules in the middle of the season? If we're going to complain as fans, which we have every right to do, but if we are going to complain, I'm happy for the season to play out the way it's playing out, and then next year you can change it so we can get a full slate with the new way of play or the old way of play, whatever. But changing it from the six against at the start of the year to the six against now, it's like, whilst I like it, we've got a different ball game now to what we had 20 weeks ago, 20 rounds ago, 15 rounds ago, 10 rounds ago. It's a whole different ball game. So, you know, of course, at the end of the day, the team who wins the comp is the one who is able to adjust the best, but I just don't feel like you should be having to adjust in that way. And to bring that back to the referees, they were having to officiate this game. Now they're officiating this game. Now they've kind of gone back to this game, and now they've jumped all the way over here to officiate this game. So it's like the referees are awful, but also it's not even just 100% their fault. It isn't. And I would also say that the on-field referee should be copping a lot less slack. They should be given a lot more leeway in comparison to the bunker. The bunker has no excuses. And the NRL, if they ever come out and say, well, the bunker is perfect, blah, blah, blah. Well, firstly, the bunker's obviously not perfect because an on-field referee, Ashley Klein, went against the bunker's call in Origin Game 1 to send off a player when he wasn't saying that. So obviously the bunker's not perfect and your referee has just proven that. But the bunker is by far like the worst thing. But the video ref is needed because the bunker is essentially just the video ref. And if you remove the video ref, it's going to be far worse than what we're seeing right now. So you need the video ref. You just need more consistency in the game. You need to stop changing rules, and you need to have probably maybe 3 people in the bunker, the same 3 people in the bunker, and put them there for every game. Base them in Sydney, I don't care. But put the same 1, 2, 3 people into the bunker so they have the same perspective on calls, the same belief in regards to calls, and surely it does not. You don't see as many problems because you're seeing different perspectives and different opinions in regards to the bunker where everybody else can see this way and then the one person who's in control of it is getting it wrong. So I feel like the NRL has thrown their referees under the bus. I think the fans are going to complain regardless. I think the fans don't do the game a service because by complaining about everything, there is no accountability because they're going to believe that no matter what, you're going to see the fans complain they were robbed when they weren't. So it's like, why do we need to fix something when they're just going to complain anyway? That's what they can do. And that's why it's really important that not every single game should be blamed on the referees. By the way, the Knights have only won 2 games against the Roosters since 2015. Well, we there. So, yeah, that's my little bit of a rant in regards to the referees. If you disagree with any of that, please feel free. But my main point of view, referees, bad, not only their fault, NRL, ultimately at fault, makes it confusing. Please utilise consistent referees rather than changing the bunker every single 2 seconds. And fans need to hold their teams more accountable. That's what I'll say. Who's going to be the first try scorer? I'll just go try scorers in general. For the Knights, I'll go with a Dom Young against his former team, and I'll also lock in with you know what? Maybe as captain, we'll lock in a cheeky little Phoenix Crossland. For the Roosters, I'm probably going to link towards a little bit of Reece Robson on a little Scooty McScoot, and I will also go with the big Mark. No one to say. I got to go with Marky Mark. Got to go with the Marky Mark. Well, actually, who's the winger going up against Greggy Martiu? Because Dominic's not amazing. Yeah, like he's good, but he's not amazing. I'll go Marky Mark. I'll go Marky Mark there. First try scorer, if I was to throw a dart, I'd go Marky Mark. I would. Marky Mark, no one to say. Sean in the corner says, who's our try scorer tonight? Anyone have a crystal ball? Yeah, I've got given my crystal ball just now. Scroll this bad boy down. The Roosters been backed in. Woo, I've got to go scroll all the way back. Jeez, there's a few here. Leaguey says Roosters 13 plus, have a good stream, mate. Get on your Leaguey. Actually, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what my rant just was just then, because I know you're a massive, massive referee backer. Massive. Marcus, I'm still not sure how the Roosters managed 30 points, but that's because I'm a one-eyed fan. I don't think anybody knows how the Roosters have managed 30 points here, man, to be honest with you. Mia says, Chooks win 30-16. Good luck. Nate J says, Marky Mark, we're going to try tonight because I haven't backed in for one. You watch. Well, I just backed in for one. Patricia says, I like your leaderboard now. Titans on top. Cool shit. The Titans have been on top for like 3 months. But it's the official ladder. It's the official ladder. I don't want to hear anything outside of that. Titans win to Moz. Don't be fueled by the Dragons. Titans have too many points in them. Oh, yeah. Rest in peace, Scotty Duro. He passed away this week for the Knights. God bless him. God bless him. They're doing a moment of silence from now. I don't know if the Titans would be a team that you would guarantee for points in regards to having too many points. I hope that last week was a change in the right direction on the attack because the defense is there. Not last week though, but I hope it was a good sign to show that the Titans are finding their rhythm in terms of attack with a young spine. But also the game's on Sunday, I believe. I'm pretty certain the game's on Sunday, isn't it? We're just doing the moment of silence right now. The game is on Sunday at Gogra. At Le Gogra. Titans might win by 900 points in the first minute of the game. First minute, you might see Philip Sami score 40 tries. How about that one, Dragons fans? Would you complain about it? Would you complain about Philip Sami scoring 40 tries in the first minute? It's a great question. Well, that's a great question. And there's nothing to complain about. Daniel Bates says, morning from a more cool but still nicely sunny UK. Not sunny, you're a liar. Is this salmon guy a soft bugger in your opinion, or does Alex Twell hit like a truck? Alex Twell is a big boy. He's a big boy. He says chicken nibbles for dinner. Benny says, safe travels while you're over there. Say hello to Borat for us. Gary says, g'day, Blaze and everyone. I hope you're all well and looking forward to the weekend. Well, the weekend kind of starts for me on Thursday, right? Like, because obviously we have our first game of the weekend on Thursday night. Which was yesterday's Panthers versus Eels game. So, yeah, now we're into the thick of it. Obviously, for you guys, I guess Friday, Saturday, Sunday is your weekend, though. Nate J says, Dewey should have come over to the Dragons last year when we gave him the chance to. Oh, well, Adam, tough teddies, mate. Oh, yes, because, yes, Nate, the Dragons were a fantastic-looking franchise to be signing with last year. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, that would have been the first thought on Nathan Cleary's thought process when he was thinking, oh, maybe, look, Ivan Cleary's leaving. You know where I'm going to go? I'm going to go St. George. Yeah, look, I don't know about that one. And Mark says, I think the refs deserve to be treated a bit better if you want better refs. Seen so many unhinged rants by one-eyed fans. Also, don't disagree with that. The game has started here, guys. No one to watch. Going to bring this ball out to the 15 on first tackle. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I will put my hand up and say, sometimes I react very passionately and very aggravated. And you know, the way that I can react to referees is not great either. The Roosters are going to be here at the 15. I would like to be better in regards to this, but as a fan who is emotionally, financially, and physically invested in this sport, you know, it's very difficult. Reece Robson, good run here to the 35 on fourth tackle. It's very difficult to avoid that, and that goes for everyone. And that's why it's like, it's nothing that you got to just try and change it. You know, you've got to try and adjust that way, but we all do it. Like swearing and stuff at Adam G last week and Ashley Klein and during Origin. It's like, yeah, look, I disagree with the calls, but sometimes you can go a little bit too far. Mine isn't crazy though. Like, mine's just swearing. Like, there are a lot of people who take it beyond that by a long way too. Nice to be second tackle and hit the 25, but I think we all know everyone needs to be better in some light. Mark says, true, the NRL asking them to change how the ref on a weekly basis sometimes. Yep, third tackle, not sometimes, pretty much every week. Third tackle now for the Knights at the 35. Crossland gets it across now to Manalua. And they'll be at the 40. Let's move this down. Jake says, nice 13 plus with both wingers getting a hat trick. Don't know about that. Gary says, I think as fans we strive for perfection and it isn't going to happen. That's just sport across the board. Sure, but I think that the Ruben Garrick try last week is easily complainable. Like, it's not like I don't need perfection. I just need consistency. And that's why you'll hear me a lot on the stream, second tackle now for the Roosters at the 35. You'll hear me say, that's not... I don't believe it's correct, but it is consistent. Or I don't agree, but it is consistent, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with consistency. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need to see an overall sense of consistency. And last week, when we saw Ruben Garrick offside by 2-3 metres, it's like, well, how can you be seeing that a different way? Billy Smith here. Billy Smith, great run at the 35 on the night side of the field, fourth tackle. You know, stuff like that. And then the inconsistency in terms of sin bins and, crushes and hip drops. And hip drops is the most inconsistent I've ever seen in my life. So that's going to be Sam Walker whacked there on the kick. Daniel Tupou. What on earth is Dom Young doing there? Dom Young has allowed him to catch it. Yeah, sure, he's tackled him. But Dom Young, you got to do better than that defensively. Because he could have easily grabbed that, flicked it back, and then they're away again. Dom Young should do way better than that. He can't just allow Daniel Tupou to have the free range in the air today. There has to be a good aerial battle. Jason says, do you reckon there's rigging corruption in this game? I gotta be careful what I say here. I will say no in terms of rigging and corruption, but I will say that 50-50s probably are pushed down an agenda. So, like, if you've got a 50-50 call, there are probably teams that the NRL would prefer to receive the beneficial 50-50 call. So, no, I don't think it's corrupt. I don't think you can really do that in this game overall. But I do, Knights here with the 42, I do think that 50-50s will be pushed down a certain agenda that aligns with the way the NRL wants to go. And I'll back this up in a second. So this is going to kick this down to the Roosters here at the 20, which is Daniel Tupou, and he's going to bring it out now to the 30 on first tackle. The English Premier League, they their CEO, whoever it was, CEO I think it was, came out and said, I think it was last year, or anyway, this was said by the CEO, we want to see a different team win the trophy like a different cycle every 3 or 4 years or whatnot. And it's like, and they were talking about officiating and all that type of stuff, and it's like, well, that's not really up to you, is it? Like, it shouldn't be up to you. That should have been forward pass, but the ball don't lie. It's a knock on here from the Roosters. It's a knock. Did they say the Knights stripped this ball out? Can we see this ball again? Because, well, how is this not either a Roosters knock on or... So Billy's... Oh, well, that's going over the sideline. So that's going to be Knights ball here at 30. Can we go back and have a look at this for a second here, champion? Because if it was a strip from the Knights, then surely you would have... So Siwa Wong... Well, okay. Well, if it's gone backwards, that's got to be a 6 again for the Roosters, which means they're not pushing this pass here. So it's either a 6 again for the Roosters, a knock-on against the Roosters, a flat-out knock-on against the Knights. But that doesn't make it anyway. Long story short, there we go. We're talking about referees, and there you go. So no, it's not. It shouldn't be the Premier League's choice what happens in a 3 to 4 year cycle. But they came out and said that it's their goal and their aim to make sure there's a different team who wins it every 3 or 4 years or whatever. So that is a concern. That is a concern. And when you look at certain calls that were made this year for Arsenal, you look at that, and then you can translate it back over here, 4 tackle. But with that being said, like, it makes sense in terms of Fletcher Sharp goes out to the left-hand side here for the Knights. Bradman Best is going to be the 30. The storylines that really would make sense is like Melbourne, big screw you to the AFL, massive middle finger. 1 second here. Newcastle at the 20, Sanders Smith rolls it in, puts it up, Fletcher Sharp. Great take by James Tedesco, first tackle at 5. You know, if you look at the advantages, Brisbane, massive franchise, 1 team city, and now it's 2 team, but 1 team city. And then you've got New Zealand is a massive screw you to the rugby union and try and take over the country rugby league-wise. Melbourne's a massive screw you to the AFL. Penrith and Western Sydney is the largest growing population in Australia by far. So, of course, you want to lock down that one. And I just really wouldn't be surprised if Papua New Guinea start getting 50-50s as well. Nafahu White now, but this is going down huge conspiracy roots, guys. I'm not really here for that. But the point is that you can make an argument for why certain teams do receive a lot more benefits than others. And that's going to be a big kick there from Chesa. That's going to come down to the 15. Fletcher Sharp gives it off to Greg and Marty, and Greg and Marty now brings this ball out to the 25. And I'm going to skip to the live chat here, guys, because I know I'll be super behind in terms of the chat. Rage says, each bunker official should be given an incorrect call limit per season, whereby exceeding the limit results in an immediate sack. Should weed out those with self-interest and corruption. I will say sack is crazy. I think that you should have like a tier system throughout the season. If you go over a certain amount, then sure, sack. But I think fines definitely need to be accountable for. Eden says, kind of wild last time the Knights beat the Roosters was 2022, but in 4 years. No, that's pretty regular in sport, man. Rugby league as well. Fletcher Hunt gets away from the tackle, and he will get taken down now at the 35 on 5th tackle. So he says, AD going from the Tigers to the Dragons, about the only backward step he could have made at that time. Well, it would have been too, because obviously the Tigers, they still ended up finishing above the Dragons last year. James Tedesco, and they will finish above them this year. Tedesco with a great grab and great run, brings it out to the 20 on 1st tackle. Let's go Roosters. Jordan says, A6 says, what an absolute meltdown from inside the 4 walls of Benji's Tigers. Spooning coming, I feel it. Dragons playing too well. It's not happening, bro. You're saying the Dragons win 5 more games the rest of the season? You wish. The Tigers are not winning the spoon, guys. They've got 7 wins. The Eels have 6 wins. The Titans have 5 wins. The Dragons have 2 wins. Is it possible the Tigers could go into second last? Sure, but they're not losing every single game. The Dragons are not winning 5 games out of their last 7. That would mean that they'd have to win double and a half what they've won through 20 rounds to get to what you're saying. Roosters here will be taken down to the 39 on 5th tackle. The bunny says, Melbourne are a bunch of copy sipping wimps. No, that'd be the latte sippers, mate. That'd be the Bondi latte sippers. That's who the real sippers are. Fletcher Sharp beat the 25. 1st tackle. For the longest time since pre-2020-ish, the Warriors couldn't buy a 50-50 call. Pre-2020. Well, I'll put up a comment here, and I'll say, well, timing-wise, a CEO comes out a couple of years ago with a bit of a complaint. Have he noticed that there's been a lot more leeway given? The Knights will be at the 38 on 4 tackle. And now they'll go to the left-hand side, Matty Croker. And now they'll be fit tackle here at the 50. 30 minutes to go the first half here, guys. That thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. Arlo says, who's reffing? The referee today is Wyatt Raymond. Oh, Chris Butler's in the bunker. Brilliant. And they'll be first tackle here at the 20. Egg says, it might be because you're a big blouse. What, me? What have I said that's pissed you off? What are you talking about? Why have I just copped a stray here? What have I done to annoy you? Third tackle now at 35. Nate says, bloody Waz fans, always the victims, whinge. Nate says. James Tedesco now to mark number Tawase, and he'll get the ball offload to James Tedesco. He'll lose. Oh, I would argue he lost that ball. Forward tackler at 44. Nafahu White off to Spencer Lenu. And it's going to be fit tackle now at the 35. Sam Walker. It's fit tackle, man. It's fit tackle. I don't know what that was. Nafahu White back to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans puts that ball up. Not to Wase. No, it's not. Robert Toya. And Greggy Marcy will get away. And Greggy Marcy will get away. He's at the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45. Great run there from Greggy Marcy at the 45. Great run. Who's the best bloke to do the job in the bunker? Not Chris Butler. Second tackle here, or Ashley Klein. No, it's first tackle. Gets the offload away, Fletcher Sharp. Now Dom Young gets his ball to the 45 on second tackle. Oh, he's lost the ball. He's knocked the ball on. Jason says, can you imagine the drop-off in the Chiefs after the first 10 years when the tax-free dollars stop? Yeah, but the point is that we would have developed youth and pathways and grassroots programs to bring through the young local Papua New Guineans and give them an actual opportunity at getting into the big time levels. Because as Justin Olam has spoken about before, as David Mead has spoken about before, there is jack shit in regards to Papua New Guinea in terms of actually making a career out of it. So it's actually a special opportunity when you do see certain players make it to the NRL level. So by putting a Papua New Guinean team in, the first 5, 10, 15, 20 years is actually just about developing that to a point where they can then put them straight into the Papua New Guinean team. And you've already had these players come and build the franchise and stabilize the franchise whilst they're there, is what their beliefs are and what their dreams are. So yeah, 1 second. 6 again for the Roosters is going to be 40 metres out from the line on first tackle. So whilst I get your point, they're not long-term thinking that Papua New Guinea is going to be a permanent destination. That's not what they're thinking. So they go to the left, and they'll be, oh, wow, what a pass from Sam Walker. And James Tedesco, he's going to be 12 metres away from the line, third tackle. And they go to the right, off to Victor Radley, and Radley now, he'll be at the 10 on 4 tackle. Come on, a call to Reese Robson to scoot. Go for a little scooty scoot, Reese. Sherry Evans, they'll be Nat Butcher, and Butcher will be at the 5. Out to the right, Sam Walker. Sam Walker kicks it across. Mark. No, what do I say? Oh, my gosh. I don't know if they would have called that forward from Mark, but either way, it's a knock-on from Siwa Wong. Either way. Brendan says, Dom, hold the ball. Buddy errors. That is what happens here in Newcastle. You know it. Sundo says, just got home now. Let's go, Chookies. Yeah, we'll see. It's not been an amazing... Well, it's been a bit of a grindy start for both these teams so far. They can call names, but they can't say I'm wrong. What? What are you saying? I don't even know what you're saying. Knights here with the ball at 25. Dylan Brown gets it across to Matty Croker. And Croker will be at the 30. At the 30. Benny says Young should be good for the Dragons, even though his defence coach results say not good. Well, you're a Dragons fan, so I encourage and advise you to have that thought process. Of course, you've got... Oh, that's a forward pass. Jeez, Dylan Brown's thrown that ball so far forward, it's actually outrageous. So it's going to be Roosters ball hit the 48. That was awful from Dylan Brown. Of course, I'm going to encourage you to have belief and hope in your team, but I don't know anything. I don't know about Dean Young right now. It's difficult to know because this isn't his team, and it's only been half a season, and at least they're showing some signs of being okay. But also, this is the back end of the year where that doesn't prove shit for next year. And also, it's a completely different team next year. And also, are they the right kind of signings? And will they actually work out? And there's a lot of factors that go into it. We have no idea what kind of coach Dean Young's actually going to be. That's a penalty to the Roosters. 26 minutes to go to first half. Looking at this, we're saying low scoring. Realistically, it shouldn't be, though, Jess. Like, realistically, it should not be a low scoring game. But right this very second, it's quite low scoring. Lewis says hello. Get around your Lewis. Other one, he says, it amazes me that the PNG Chiefs have come in contact with top-tier players at the Bears sign mediocre players. Well, look at the advantages that Papua New Guinea are receiving compared to Perth. And also, you got to remember, the contracts are all coming off at a really good time for Papua New Guinea compared to, Perth coming in next year. Papua New Guinea is still a year away. Nafahu White, they're still, a year and a half away. Nafahu White's 3 minutes away here from the line. Third tackle. Reece Robson, he'll get it across here to Cherry Evans. Sam Walker, quick passing. James Tedesco, he runs back into the middle. Oh, dude, that's so poor defense there from Newcastle. But James Tedesco will score a try into the post. And it's 4-0 with a kick to come. 4-0 with a kick to come. With the way the Knights are playing, they are going to get pumped. Well, the Roosters, they need to really turn up here, but at least they've gone and scored a try. And Larry says, bro, on a serious note, are you all good? I see you coughing every stream. I think the reason for this, man, is that obviously we do a lot of talking here on this channel, and we do a lot of streaming all the time, and I'm going through different altitudes. I'm traveling all the time, and it's very difficult to get into a really healthy routine, right? So I'm all obviously eating out, and I'm doing stuff, and I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going everywhere. And the different altitudes, and just a lot of travel. So I feel like it's just that alongside all the talking that I'm always doing here on the channel, yeah, I do have a bit of a cough, man. But that's a great right foot there from Tedesco to step inside. Like, I'm sweet, like I'm fine. I just have a bit of a cough, I guess, with all the traveling that I do and all the talking that I do. Jason says, how bad is it looking for the Bears when the Dragons have done better in the recruitment market? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. Daniel says, boom, bang, wallop, try. Beautiful, just need the old turbo for a double. Well, good luck, because Sam Walker will get this kick, and it will be 6-0 here to the Roosters. 17 minutes gone. What a step by Tedesco. Seen way too many forward passes to start this game. Yeah, there's been a lot of forward passes to start this game. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And also, you know what? I've got to drink more like water and stuff like that, because I do obviously drink a lot of Coke Zero. So we've got to stop drinking that kind of stuff and start caring a bit more about the old health with water and all that kind of jazz. So 6-0 to the Roosters, 17 minutes in. Like, for example, I've got a Coke there, but I'm going to have some of this water. And I'll kick this ball away. The Roosters, Cherry Evans gets to the 5, and now Nafahu White takes out the 15 on first tackle. This is actually really good. It's like a lemon-flavoured one. So good. Second tackle now at the 25. Who scored? It was... Geez, how have I just forgotten who scored just like 2 seconds ago? It was... James Tedesco, of course, with a great right step. Great little step inside. So third tackle now for the Roosters at 33. Tisha just had another week off. Yeah, don't know about that one. Fourth tackle now at the 45. Reece Robson to James Tedesco. And Tedesco brings it to the 50 on fifth tackle. So, Jess, what did you end up getting on? Because, like I said, it was a difficult one to kind of read this game, where it looks like realistically the game should be a higher scoring game, but like so far it's obviously quite low scoring. Lewis says the Titans are winning next year. Titans, they're going to win every year. Look at them. They're top of the table right now, Lewis. They're at the top of the table right damn well now. Which team do you personally think that will win the comp as of this year? Titans, mate. Gold Coast damn well Titans. Third tackle out the 25. No, realistically, I'm still going Panthers until proven otherwise. Until proven otherwise. And now it's going to be fourth tackle here at the 35. And Crossland, 40-20 attempt here. I think he's out. Yeah, this is a 40-20 even fans Crossland. I don't know what Tedesco's doing here. That shouldn't have been a 40-20. He should have realised that from the start. He goes out to hit this ball back inside. Of course, it's going to be out. it didn't look like it was going over the sideline before the 20. It looked always like it was going to bounce over the 20. I don't understand why he's allowed that one to go. He had multiple attempts there to try and hit that ball back inside, by the way. Like, yeah, he's well out. He had a long time to actually make a decision to hit that ball back in earlier. 10.5 Roosters. Yeah, fair enough. That should come off. Like, that's all. Like, today, it was a good kick there from Crossland, but at the end of the day, Tedesco's going to be doing far better in that situation than what he just showed. Trey Mooney's second tackle now at the 10. I don't think the defences are on top, just lack of execution in the final 20. Well, you said defences, like plural. This is the first time the Knights have been down here. Oh no, he's going to have a sideline. Yep, he's going to have a sideline. That's so bad from Fletcher Sharp, man. That's so poor. So it's going to be a Roosters ball here at the 15. I don't think the Roosters have had to show much defense, but when they've had to show defense, they've just taken them over the sideline. Whilst the Knights, I don't think this game has anything to do with defense right now. Yeah, it would just be to do with execution from the Roosters, but the Knights, this was good defense from the Roosters, and that was poor there from Fletcher Sharp. How's it not a hell? Because he got back up the bunnies. So he got back up to go again, and as soon as he did that, well, obviously he's allowed to be taken over the sideline. Will Brock Lamb get on this game? Disappointed in seeing him last week. Yeah, look, definitely. Yeah, Brock Lamb will get on this game, and I'm looking forward to seeing Chief Harrigan come off the bench as well, mate. So Siwa Wong gets the offload away to James Tedesco, and Tedesco with a nice little run here gets it up to Victor Radley. Radley now, he'll be at the 50 on third tackle. Dragons have probably done better than any other club for next year. Perspective, that's entirely perspective. I wouldn't necessarily agree. I think that it's positive for them. That's a high tackle. Oh, no, they don't call it fourth tackle. That's been called a high tackle all season long, by the way. Yep, there's a penalty. I was going to say that took way too long. That took way too long, bro. That's been called a high tackle all season so far. A whole new spine, a really good prop. Got to be most improved next year. I think sure, but you can make an argument for a lot of teams in regards to that. That's a perspective based off of the Dragons being really poor. Like, you could also look at negatives in terms of it. In terms of Scott Drinkwater doesn't actually improve them defensively by any stretch of the imagination, gives them a bit of creativity. They've still got the same halves, but it's like Luke Metcalf isn't exactly known for his attack. Keon Klomatangi is a good signing. I don't think there's a negative that you can say there, because he's been a lot better for the Rabbitohs recently as well than he was at the beginning part of the year. Second tackle for the Roosters at the 10. And then Philip Sami has his ups and downs. Radley now, he'll be at the 3, third tackle. Phil Sami has his ups and downs. So whilst, yes, I do think they should definitely be better, you can argue on the opposite side too. So they're going to go to the right-hand side to Cherry Evans. Sam Walker kicks his ball through for Siwa Wong. Siwa Wong goes dead. Way too long of a kick there from Sam Walker. Way too long of a kick. David says, who in chat loves Sharp? Can't remember. Dazmate is his mate. He's a friend of Sharp. 19 minutes to go to first half. Thumbs up, subscribe, slap it in. Don't forget, we've got Rabbitohs versus Storm after this one. Storm lose. They're pretty much Danamundos. Pretty much Danamundos. You feeling better? Feeling better in terms of sickness. Yeah, I've just still got this cough though. But it's just so hard to get rid of this cough when I'm always talking on stream. And now with the fact that I'm filming BKR travel videos as well, you know, it's pretty full on. And those altitude differences all the time. Crazy. First tackle now at the 45. They got 6 again, the Knights. Sennett Smith to Bradman Best, and Bradman Best will be at the 33 on second tackle. Late to the party who scored. It was James Tedesco who scored the try for the... Oh, they're right through the line. That's a brilliant run from Manalalua. That is a brilliant run from Manalalua. He'll run straight through the line. And it is a try time for Newcastle. It is 4 points to them with a kick to come. That'll be potentially a 6-6 ball game. There's not much that anybody could do to stop that try from Manalalua. There's not much that the Roosters could do here. This is just a very, very strong run from Manalalua. And I think that's Sam Walker. Yeah, Sam Walker had no chances then. Speak from your chest, bro, not the throat. You'll feel better. I do try to do that. I do try. Pumped out a monster amount of hours so far this year, bro. It's insane. Yeah, no, we do a lot, man. We do a lot. We've still got plenty more to go. You know, we're only halfway through the year. It's only, well, probably just slightly past halfway now. In terms of, like, the year, not rugby league season. Actually, no, probably, because we've still got Rugby League goes until like mid to late November this year because of the Rugby League World Cup. So it's about to be probably a 6-6 ball game. All right. Because don't forget, like after finals finish, we've still got the Rugby League damn well World Cup. It's going to be nuts, though. Like, I'm pretty certain we know who's going to be in the final. I would love to see, and this is like, I'm a proud Australian. I would love to see an Islander versus Islander nation. I would, with all due respect to my nationality of being Australian, I would love to see like a Samoa versus Tonga, or a Fiji versus Papua New Guinea, or a Fiji versus Samoa/Tonga kind of deal. Oh, that's a wonky kick, and it'll say 6-4 to the Roosters. Sam Smith misses that one badly. Says 6-4. I would love to see somebody else go and have a chance. But again, I don't think that happens. Jaden says, I can see Sharp being a staple in the New South Wales team off the bench, can fill for any backline position in the halves. Okay, where right now? Jay Dawes says, I think PNG's first re-signing is more important than the first signing. Agree. Shows that it's livable rather than people going to PNG based off of promises. Sure, but also the players they're signing right now are older guys. Alex Johnson, older. Papua New Guinean. Jerome Luai, older. Connor Watson, not older, but I think he's already signed for quite a while until he is older. Who else? Anyway, long story short, it's more. I think you kind of need to see a younger player, because I don't know if a 34, 33, 35-year-old re-signing is going to tell you a great deal. But I agree with what you're saying. Storm on Top says no goal. Yep, no, that is what I said. Storm on Top. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It is what I said. Yeah, he did miss it. That's a penalty here to the Newcastle Knights. Penalty to Newcastle Knights. As an Australian yourself, what is your ethnic background heritage? Fully sick, bruh. David says, Jess, do you have Roosters points over 11.5 or have to beat Knights by 11.5? She would have over 11.5 points for the Roosters in the first half. Anyway, 15.5 minutes to go to first half. It would be Dylan Lucas getting the ball to the 45. Kenny says, first time I've seen this. It's a fantastic stream, mate. Wigan fan here. Great to hear Aussie rugby is getting closer to our level. Dylan Lucas down here. Sorry, I'm going to respond to this travesty in a second. I'm going to respond to this chat in a second. Dylan Lucas is down on the ground here, and he is not getting up. God bless him. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at that comment. But Dylan Lucas is down, and he is not getting up right now. God bless him. But no, we're live for every single game, Rugby League, Kenny. We smack it up here. We love the Rabbitohs versus Storm after this game, and nice to see that you're watching the Primo product now. But good old Wigan, eh? It's a try in Wigan. That's right. Is that you? I think that's you special, isn't it, Nate? Yeah, Dylan Lucas is still on the ground here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Kenny, we do actually have a Wigan fan here. Jess in the chat, she's a Wigan fan, massive Wigan fan. This might be something to do with his ankle here. This may be something to do with his ankle. Brooks says, hello, good game so far. Decent game so far. But unfortunately, Dylan Lucas is going to be coming off the field here. They have to bring out the buggy to take him off. God bless him. Oh, no. This might be... I really hope I'm wrong. This might be season ending because that looked like it bent in a way that it shouldn't be able to be bent in. Touch wood, that's not true, and hopefully he is back next week or soon enough, because they will need him in the fact that they still need to win 2 games the rest of the season to make the finals. Terrible to see. No, awful to see, especially when it's a player, like regardless of who it is, but like especially when it's a player of Dylan Lucas quality. Especially when it's a player of his size and quality. Obviously was in Origin this year. Wasn't a great Origin for him, but was in Origin this year. Nate says, I said g'day to Jess and nothing, but as soon as Wiggins mentioned, she's all over it. Jaden says, one thing I can't watch is these up injuries. The worst injury I've ever witnessed in any sport was Jarrell Yao-Yi. And you guys know I watch every sport. I think Jarrell Yao-Yi was always and will always go down as the most gruesome injury I've seen in sport. It's just awful. Jarrell Yao-Yi, for those who don't know, was like 16, 17 years ago or so. coming through at the Brisbane Broncos. Would have been a great winger. Would have been unbelievable. Would have been unbelievable. That's right. This weekend, this Sunday, Spence Jr. versus Timmy Zoo. Tim Zoo has to win that. If he doesn't win that, his rep is gone. Timmy Zoo has to win that. Arlo says, what happened? I think something to do with his ankle here. Dylan Lucas, he can't walk right now. They're having to stretch him off the field. We're having to stretch him off the old field here. Tell you what, though, the Rabbitohs Storm after this is going to be a very interesting game. That'll be a very interesting game. Because the Storm must win to keep their top 8 hopeful chances alive. And the Rabbitohs, if they lose, well, they could be out of the top 8 this week. Yep, because if Cowboys win and Manly win, Rabbitohs would be going kapuchka. Kapuchka. He says, you preaching the truth on here too? Whatever helps you sleep at night. Kenny? Whatever helps you sleep at night, man. Laurie says, yeah, worst injury I saw was that Frenchie in the Olympics who mistimed his flip, landed and broke both his ankles. I didn't even see that one. Wait until you see John Naylor in MLB stab his ankle. The ones I hate in the MLB is like with the pitches and I think in Major League Baseball, I think the most consistent like injury, like our ACL or our Achilles kind of deal. More so ACL. ACL would be more consistent than Achilles. So our ACL is similar to like the MLB's Tommy John's, right? You'd probably say that'd be the equivalent because you're not really seeing ACLs too much in the old MLB. I feel like Tommy John's would probably be, or like hammies are just hammies, right? I think Tommy John's would probably be the consistent one. Fourth tackle, correct me if I'm wrong. Dylan Lucas underneath that. Malalulua will be at the 20 on fit tackle. Someone says, you know it's bad when they don't even show you a replay. Yeah, because it would have been pretty rough. And I put that one up here for the Knights. Caught by Babin Best. He's lost the ball. This is play on here. Oh, that's forward and over the sideline. So Roosters ball at 10. Need mark for 2. Oh, hold on. Dylan Lucas. Early diagnosis. Dislocated and suspected fracture of his left ankle. How long is that out for? Is that like... That's a while. How long is dislocated, fractured... That'd be season over, but I'm thinking like how long? How long is dislocated and fractured ankle out for? Gee whiz. So that'll be 3 to 6 months or longer. Yep. Dylan Lucas' season is done. God bless him. That's unfortunate for you Knights fans. 6 to 8 months, I'd say. Yeah, it said 3 to 6 on Google, but 6 to 8 is also potential. Month 6 to 8, I'd say. Latrell needs to retire. 1.4 million for a player who's injury prone and can't stay healthy for a full season is really irritating. It's really irritating, but he's not going to retire. Sherry Evans will put that ball up into the corner here for Mark. Not to Wassay. He'll get it, but he'll knock it forward. He'll knock it on. Nikhil says, one of the worst injuries I've seen was when Paul George snapped his leg in the NBA. Also, Anderson Silva snapping his leg was crazy. Oh, you know what was actually, speaking of the USC, I would say Conor McGregor. Was it against Dustin Poirier? I think it was Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier where he snapped his ankle, and then when he was going back to take a kick, like he was setting up to put all of his body weight onto the back left ankle, I think it was, and it just went whopper and completely folded. That was one of the most brutal injuries I've seen. Oh, dude, I'm thinking about it right now. It's just brutal. 6 again of the Knights at the 35. First tackle. That was brutal, the Conor McGregor one. Like, the whole ankle snapped. So when he went to put all of his body weight on it, it just completely folded on each other. Ugh. Second tackle at the 25 of the Knights. They go to the left-hand side. Sandon Smith, short ball. Thomas Kahn, he'll be at the 15. Yeah, it was Conor versus Poirier. Yeah, that was harsh to see. They go out to the left-hand side. And Brody Jones will be at the 10 on 4 tackle. Gets the offload. No, he gets the offload. So it's still third tackle. Roosters have just fallen asleep. What the fuck was that, Sydney Roosters? What the hell was that? You're telling me this team thinks they're going to win the comp with that kind of defense? You're telling me the Sydney Roosters think they can win a competition with that kind of defense? That is horrific. That is absolutely horrific to have watched that just now. In no way should Matt Croker have scored this try. This is pathetic from the Sydney Roosters. So Brody Jones, he'll get this ball to 10. It's great offload from Brody Jones. Crossen gets it. Matt Croker, no chance Tedesco has missed that tackle there. No chance. You cannot blame Reece Robson in the back here. James Tedesco, that is actually atrocious. You have cost your team a try with pathetic defense just then. Siwa Wong gets done over in regards to the angle that Matt Croker run. Reece Robson has been left high and dry by his Roosters teammates there. James Tedesco, that was horrific defense. There is no world that should have been a try to Matt Croker just then. No world. Wow. That is poor defense. So many injuries at the moment. Feel for Dylan Lucas. He's really come into his own as a player. I think where I'll agree with you is there's so many long-term injuries at the moment. So many long-term. It's not like we're seeing an increased amount of injuries. We're just seeing an increased amount of long-term injuries right now. Yeah. But 8-6, kick to come here from right in front. I'll get this one. Jess, the £2 donation. 5.5 for the Knights. MD for the win. Let's find a cure. Get around it. Get around MD. Appreciate you for the dono, Jess. Seb says, I was at Old Trafford years back when David Bush broke his leg. Was awful, ended his career. Yeah, David Bush. Okay. Laurie says, Roosters don't get a fraud alert. They will. If they lose this, they will. Ziggy says, that's about the most pathetic defense I've seen all year. Yeah, no, that was poor, man. That was really, really lazy. That was lazy. Simon Dwyer for the Tigers hit the guy so hard with his shoulder, he tore all the nerves on the one side of his body off the spine. Yikes. That's crazy. Nikhil says, well, I've got to see that Gary and Seb Schmeichel threw up. It must have been nasty. Oh, well, you know what is one. This is a more obvious one, but, you know, a brutal injury to watch is Roy Keane and Harlan's father. And that was brutal to see. And Roy Keane has no sympathy to this day. He's a knobhead. He's a knob, though. But yeah, no, look, Alf's injury was just brutal. Third tackling out the 40. When they say Tedesco was a consistent fullback in the comp, it's laughable. He is. That's just not a great reflection of who he is as a player just now. Dom Young out of the right-hand side of the 40. 35, 30, 25. Roosters, you're all over the shop right now. Four tackle. And it'll be Manalalua off to Dylan Brown. Dylan Brown across here to Crossland. Crossland gets it outside. Sandon Smith to Fletcher Sharp. Fletcher Sharp now to Bradman Best. And Bradman Best is going to be fifth tackle at the 13. 10 minutes to go the first half, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We've got Rabbitoh Storm right after this. The Knights. Sandon Smith. He'll put this ball into a great area. Fletcher Hunt. I think I said this is knocked back off the Roosters here, so this is going to be a dropout. But Fletcher Hunt, I thought he had that in the bag just then. We'll have a look, and... Oh, no, this is going to be a knock-on Fletcher. This will be a knock-on Fletcher Hunt. This will be Bruce's ball at 20. This has to be... That's all off of Fletcher Hunt there. That should be Bruce's ball at 20. Yep, it's back at the 20. Kenny says, great community. So glad I found it. Have to go, though. Us Brits work for a living. Nah, bullshit. I don't agree. Have a great weekend, everyone, especially you, Jazz. So I know already that Kenny is just going to be here for the old sledge and the banter. I can see right through it now. I just know it. I just know that Kenny has banter written over every single comment right now. Third tackle now, but we'll see you next time, mate. Third tackle at the 35. Sorry, 45, and it's going to be Reece Robson to Egan Butcher, and Egan Butcher will be the 45 and 4 tackle now. Nikhil says, he said, who's that? Who said, who's that? As long as Dylan Walker is still on the part. Yeah, he does that on purpose. Dylan Walker. Guys, that was all down to Alfie mocking Keane on the pitch when he did his ACL. There's no way that you are defending Roy Keane right now. I refuse to believe that you are defending Roy Keane's actions because of what Alf did. I don't agree with what Alf did, but Roy Keane's one was an intentional attempt to end that man's career. There is no way that you can say that Alf had the intention to end anybody's career. What he was saying was get up because he was saying he wasn't injured. Obviously, he was wrong in regards to that. But there is absolutely no chance that you are defending the actions of Roy Keane as in he's allowed to have his get back. Now, it was just disgusting from Roy Keane. There is no defending what Roy Keane did. He tried to end that man's career intentionally that day. Oh, Manalua gets whacked and taken down here at the 30. That's a massive tackle there from Billy Smith. At the 40, sorry. And go Dylan Brown off to Matt Croker, and Croker now beat the 40 on fit tackle. Keane said, who's that to Alfie recently on his podcast when they were talking about Haaland and Alfie? Yeah, no, he's a knob. Roy Keane's a knob. I'll never respect. Great player, but knob. Tupou, did he just knock that ball on? Yeah, this is going to be a zero tackle set here for the Knights. Roosters are looking all over the shop right now. We all know, though, second halves when the Roosters do their business. Second halves when the Roosters do their business, but I hate teams that rely on second halves. I really do. Because it's not a consistent thing. And I get this ball out here. Knights with the ball to 15. Zero tackle still, Sandon Smith. He'll move it across. Manalolua, he'll be taken down to the 10 on first tackle. And it'll be Fletcher Sharp. And 6 again. 6 again coming up now. And the Knights will be taken down here at the 2 on second tackle. We have lots of knobs in Wigan. Dylan Brown at the 5, third tackle. Yes, a try on Wigan. Eric Canton a flying side kick to a fan's head in the crowd. Passion next level. I don't know if I'd label that with passion next level. I'd say that's just a horrific thing to do. But also, we all know about the reason of that. They go to the right-hand side, kicks the ball through. I think there's a penalty here. I think a Knights player was taken off the ball here. They didn't even see it. I swear there was a player taken off of the ball on the inside just now that would have been a professional foul, mind you. I would like to see this again. I swear there was a player held back there as he was running through. Billy Smith taking out the 25 on third tackle. Here we go. Oh, no. Billy Smith did well there. That wasn't a penalty. No, correct call from the referee. Correct call. From side eye, it looked like he might have grabbed someone, but he did not. Hugo Savala brings his ball out here to the 40. And he says, when's the first bit of Kazakhstan? Pretty excited to watch it. Yeah, there's a reason why I didn't come out this week. It'll be next week, trust. Oh, that's going to go for a 7 tackle set here for the Newcastle Knights at the 20. Trust me, it's coming out, man. There's a reason why I didn't come out this week. You thinking of fraud if Roosters lose this? Yep. I think Finn should come up for fraud. No. You're wrong. 2 weeks ago, they lost 66-0. They came off a scam with a win against the Cowboys, but until they win again, they're staying absolutely on fraud. But no, it definitely comes out this week, man. Why are they booing constantly? That's Knights fans, bro. That's Knights fans. Kicking is off for the Chooks, plenty of chances. Well, they haven't really been down the attack in 20 a great deal since the first 10-15 minutes. But, the Roosters just look a schmozzle. But this is what they always do in first halves. They quite frequently will lose the first half and then come strong in the second. So they'll go to the left-hand side. Dylan Brown off to Sandon Smith, off to Fletcher Sharp. It looked like Fletcher Sharp was positioned as a centre there. Fifth tackle out to 30. And I'll go to the right-hand side of Sandon Smith. Sandon Smith puts that one up into a pretty basic area here. Dylan Brown will get it. He'll knock it back. Fletcher Sharp. That's a charge down. That's a charge down. This should be Knights ball. I tell you what, the Roosters today are shocking. Of course it's 6 again. He's put his arms up and blocked it. I don't know why the commentary is surprised. Of course it's 6 again here. And now the Knights will be at the 35 on second tackle. Thought the Knights would struggle more with their outs. Yeah, but look at the Roosters. The Roosters are a fraudulent team. They are. They have been for most of this season. We say it all the time. That's why when I said on my Instagram, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go follow it, BKRsport. But I said on my Instagram last week, second. This team was in second last week. Second. How? How is this team a second or third place team? It tells you that overall the competition this year, the quality is actually quite lacking. Bradman Best back onto the inside. They're going to get this ball offloaded to Crossland. And Crossland, he's lost the ball. That's an amazing tackle because I thought he was going to score a try. The ball has come free there. I thought Crossland was going to score. I thought he had that. Oh, I called Crossland for a try too as the captain. I said he'd get up for it, but he has lost the ball. They didn't play well last week, the old Roosters. The Roosters don't typically play amazing. They don't. They get the job done. Second half, I fully expect the Roosters to win this game. I fully expect it. 100%. I think the Roosters win this game. But the first half is always shocking. 2 minutes, 17 to go here, the first half. The Roosters with the ball, their own 10. They've just got so much more proving. There is nobody right now that's putting their foot down and saying, I'm winning this comp. Warriors, Sharks, right now it's up to you. Right now, it is up to you this weekend to put your foot down and say, we are winning this comp. Sharks play Manly. Warriors play Bulldogs. So third tackle now for the Roosters at the 33. Reece Robson. Hugo Savala, Cherry Evans, right until they got numbers here. Flicks it out to Robert Toya. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you're watching this game alongside my commentary, you know how painful what we just witnessed was. That was just dreadful. Walter Skippers says, go Roosters up the Wars. Well, that's very contradictory. How can you be going up the Wars but also go Roosters? They're both fighting for minor premiership and also for second place right now. Roosters are so bad to watch. Considering what we know they should be, yes. Yes. Like the Roosters actually had a great chance of a try there if they could have held the ball. But this is what the Roosters do. This is what they do, man. This is so typical Roosters. So second tackle now for the Knights, and they're going to be at the 40. So they'll go to the left at the 35, and Sandon Smith will be at the 33. And now they'll give it out to Matt Croker, short ball, and Brodie Jones with the 25 on fourth tackle. Crossland to Dylan Brown. Dylan Brown off to Tyson Frizzell, and Frizzell's going to be at the 15. I'd consider a field goalie. I'd consider it. It's obviously a close game right now. They don't do it. They kick it out here into the corner. Sandon Smith. That's just going to be knocked dead by Knights. Why saying it's going to be a dropout? But it won't be because there's only 15 seconds left. I should rephrase from bad to watch is disappointing. I will actually double down on bad to watch. I do think that they are pretty awful to watch because I have high expectations for what this Roosters team should be, and they're not anywhere close to it. And I would say that they are not anywhere near... They don't look anywhere near where their actual ladder position is. Like they should be so far more better than this. They should be far better than this. They've got a much better team than what shows this every single week. But I'm telling you, we usually we'll go through this halftime stats right now. I promise you that you'll more than likely see the Roosters with the better stats. You probably are going to see the Roosters with the better or at least close stats. Oh, you're not. You're not this time. No, they haven't been that good in this first half. Usually they'll win the halftime stats and they'll be down. They actually aren't necessarily winning the halftime stats right now. But they should be far better than what they show. They should be. But I also know that in second halves they come over like a train. So whilst I don't necessarily agree with that being an intention, it is how the Roosters do play. But guys, half-time, let's go through the stats. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 10-6 the Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. The tries, Francis Manalua and Matty Croker, with Sandon Smith as a 1-from-2 conversion for the Knights. And then for the Roosters, James Tedesco with Sam Walker getting the conversion. Possession-wise, 57% possession to the Knights. They should be doing better. 43% to the Roosters. That's a big switch of 14% there. Knights should be up by more. You can't be only up by 4 with 57% possession. You should be up by at least 2 tries there. That's not great there from the Knights. Time of possession is 17 minutes and 5 seconds. Yeah. And for the Knights, and Roosters are 12 minutes and 2 seconds. That's above 29 minutes of gameplay here. 25 minutes is the threshold. So you're very happy with that. Completion rate, 80% is what you're looking for. Both teams are at 80% here. 80% for the Knights at 17 from 21. You're happy with that. 82% for the Roosters, 14 from 17. You're very happy with that one. So both teams are at least hitting the 80%. You go to the runs. 1 second. Gregory says second half Roosters will turn it on. Sure, but that's not good enough. You can't just expect a second half every single week. I know the Broncos did it last year, winning it out of turn, but it's not a regularity. You can't just have to. You shouldn't want to have to be saying, oh, well, they'll turn on the second half because it means they weren't good enough in the first half. You shouldn't be relying upon it every single week, which is kind of what we see here with the Chooks. But runs-wise, 105 runs here for the Knights, which means that you're looking for 1,050 metres. They're at 873. So they are 100, and now it's 104 for 868. So they've lost a run there. I don't know. Well, 104 for 868 is, 172 metres behind the 10 metres per run on average that you're looking for. 172 metres behind it. So not great. You want to be within 100 metres. They're 172 metres behind it. And then for the Roosters, 79 runs. You're looking for 790 metres here. They're at 647. So that means that they are 100. Now it's 80 for 656. They are 144 points behind the 10 metres on average per run that you're looking for. So they've had 24 less runs. You cannot give them the 10 metres on average per run, but what you can do is now 81 for 662. With 23 less runs, they're down by 206 metres. They are only down by 104. They're past the 100-minute threshold. Long story short, the Roosters are doing better with the ball here than the Knights are. It's just the Roosters have got 23 less runs. The Roosters would probably be above 900 if they had the 104 runs the Knights are having right now. So the Roosters are slightly winning that department, just not right now because obviously they've got less runs. Post-contact meters is 271 here for the Knights. Like, it's still good. It is still good. I would have liked to have seen 300, but 271 is still good. 239 for the Roosters, so it's a 32 post-contact meter gap with 22 extra runs. Roosters would be above on the post-contact. So Roosters are actually technically winning when they have the ball. They technically would be winning when they have the ball here. Line breaks 3-1 to the Knights, so they're definitely winning that department. Tackle breaks, though. Knights are actually defending well here today. So 24 tackle breaks to the Knights is huge. 9 tackle breaks to the Roosters is really low on a missed tackle count from the Roosters. That's really low. 9 tackle breaks for the Roosters is so low. Average set distance is 25 metres and below is pathetic to the stream off. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. 40.33 here for the Knights. 39.26 there for the Roosters. Technically, Knights are in great. Technically, Roosters are in hitting the job, just doing hitting the marker. But they're both essentially the same. It's only 1 metre separating the two of them there. And it's like technically great, technically doing the job, but you basically just put them together at 40. Now, the average play the ball speed, 3.19 seconds and below is extremely fast. 3.2 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. And 3.8 above is extremely slow. 3.77 seconds here for the Knights is slow. Very close to extremely slow. They're taking a long time to play this ball. Whilst the Roosters are at 3.3 seconds, which is fast. That is massive. That is, now it's 3.76. That is massive of a 40.46 second gap. That's huge in rugby league. That's massive. So, yeah, Roosters fast to play the ball speed. Knights at a slow play the ball speed. Offloads is 7 to the Knights, 5 to the Roosters. So, getting up there is quite high for the Knights, whilst 5 for the Roosters is getting up there. And then you go to the kick to field, so 43% here for the Knights, 33% there for the Roosters. 140-20 to the Knights to none for the Roosters. And defence is what's slightly winning this game right now for Newcastle, because ultimately they're not doing too much with the ball. 85% and below on an effective tackle percentage is awful. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And 90% above is basically perfect. 90.05% here for the Knights is very good. It's basically perfect. 172 tackles made. Average amount of tackles usually 160 to 180. They're 172. Bang smack in the middle. 9 missed tackles, 6 below the average of 15 and 17. That's amazing. And the 10 effective tackles is actually 3 above the average of 5 to 7. So 19 bad tackles through a typical range of 172. but especially with those low missed tackles, that's an amazing, perfect first half. And then the only issue they would have is the ineffective tackles being slightly higher, because they could have easily been up around the 93, 94, 95% if they had limited those ineffectives. And then we go to the Roosters, who are the opposite. 84.47% is awful. That is below 85%. It is awful. Tackles made 223. So, yep, sure, that's high. That's 43 tackles above the 160, 180 mark. 223 tackles made. Very high. But missed tackles is 25. That's a lot of missed tackles, man. 15 to 17 average. That's 8 tackles above the missed tackle average and a half. And the ineffective tackles is 16. That's very high for ineffective tackles. 5 to 7 is the average. They're 9 above the average there. So, in the first half, yes, the Roosters have had to make 50 more tackles than the Knights. It doesn't justify those 16 missed tackles extra and 6 more ineffective tackles. But like for context here, 19 bad tackles in 40 minutes for the Knights is very, very good. The Roosters, 41 bad tackles in the first half, which means they're making a bad tackle per minute slightly over. A bad tackle per minute slightly over. And then you go to the errors. 3 and below is really good. 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is awful. 6 on the errors. So they're both on the high average. Penalties conceded is 2-1 against the Knights. You know, getting up there for the Knights, but still quite low overall. Ruck infringements 2-1 against the Roosters. Inside 10 minutes 1-0 against the Roosters, and on reports is 1-0 against the Roosters. So overall infringements 4 to 3 against the Roosters. Error counts the same. Overall, I think the Knights still find a way to lose this game. I really do. I think that the Roosters are well known for giving up first halves and dominating second halves. Actually, I remember the Knights-Roosters game earlier on this year where the Knights were leading, I think, 24-12 at half time, and they ended up losing 38-24. I think that might have been the score. It's close to that. Or it might have been 22-10 or 24-12. I know it was a 12-point lead at half time for the Knights against the Roosters, and they tanked it up, and the Roosters just whooped them in the end and won by 13 plus. Kept the Knights to nil in the second half. So is that going to happen here? Maybe, but this is what we see from the Roosters. It's not something that you should be happy about, and that's what I was saying. I wasn't saying that you're happy about that, Gregory. I was just using your point as an example of you shouldn't want that. Yeah, you need an 80-minute performance to take a title. Absolutely, but you at least want to see a couple of 80-minute performances. But you look at the most recent games of the Roosters, and it's like, where's the 80-minute performance across these games? Where is the 80-minute performance across? Definitely not this one. Definitely not the Storm game. Eels is debatable. Broncos definitely not. I'd say Sharks game, 27-8 probably was. 27-8 to the Roosters of the Sharks would probably be an 80-minute game for mine. I don't think it was really close at any stage, was it? Yeah, 14-4 at half time for the Roosters. Ended up being 27-8. Yeah, that was probably their most recent 80-minute performance. The Dolphins, they lost 48-10. Raiders 26-0 was pretty good 80-minute. That was a pretty good 80-minute. They were up 22-0. But then again, the second half wasn't great. They only scored 1 try in the second half. That was an awful game to watch, man. That was an awful game to watch, that one. Laurie says, DC has had a mixed bag this season. Walter says it's good for the Wires if the Knights win. Sure, yeah, it would be. It's basically the same, though. But you're like, sure. You're like, yeah, it is. Because then the Warriors will, no matter what, be in second this week. Roosters, if they lose, they'll drop down below the Sharks. They can't go below the Dolphins. They will go below the Sharks, and then the Knights will be within a win of them. But Knights, if you can hold out for a win here, that means that you're only 1 win away from guaranteeing a top 8 spot. I'm saying most tries are scored second half. Jess says, surely not. Surely not. Like, you might be right. Like, but 3 tries, like, I could easily see that there have been plenty of tries in the second half too. I'll probably still go second half. I'd probably still, but that's just my thoughts, what I'm saying right now. Well, not even based off what we're seeing right now, but surely, like, this game still should have points in it. It still should. I hope the Knights don't die in the arse, missing forwards. Exactly right. You know, Dylan Lucas out and a couple of big boys out, and obviously Cameron Ponga out. Like, they're going to be in a bit of a situation. Brenton says, David, don't do that to me. I can't watch 3 weeks in a row losing by 2 again. Well, would you rather lose by 13 plus, Brenton? Like, what do you want? You lose by 13 plus or lose by 2? I'll give you the option. You've got the option here, son. Which one do you choose there, mate? Sorry, I'm just checking something here on the old phone. Oh no, here we go. Someone's coming on the Eels game last night. Oh no, don't talk about the Turkey game, don't worry. Poor old Dearden after the Cows. Yeah, that sucks to see, man. That sucks to see. That's a huge loss there for the Cowboys. Red side rather win. That's not what you said, though. That's not what you said. You said, I can't watch 3 weeks in a row losing by two again. So you'd rather lose by 13? Would you rather lose by 90? Would you rather lose by 450 then? How about that? Roosters 719 says, fix the missed tackles and we will get on top. Yeah, absolutely. That's what the Roosters do. DC has had a mixed bag this season. Yep, but he's not expected to be the guy. Sam Walker is expected to be the guy alongside James Tedesco. But again, I'm fully expecting the Roosters to come away with the win here. Sosmate, I actually hope Knights win, but feel Roosters will just get him. Oh, you're saying Sosmate to him. I was like, why are you saying sorry to me? I don't care. But no, I get it. How a draw? You would a draw here. Well, your points differential is shocking at plus 37 for a top 8 team. You'd actually take a draw. You would, because then that would nullify Sharks, Warriors, Manly. You would avoid Manly, that's for sure. Gee whiz. You would avoid Manly with the draw here. Chopper says Roosters clean up second half. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'll be back in 2 seconds. We're just waiting here for the second half. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Be back in a moment. All right. Second half's about to start here. Second half is about to start. And it will be the Roosters kicking this ball off here to the Knights. But I'll kick it down and Dylan Brown gets it off to Brodie Jones. And Knights will beat the 15 on first tackle. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Let's see if the Roosters can come in like a trade like they typically do. Or if the Knights can hold out and be 1 win away from guaranteeing a top 8 spot this year. I'm still confident we win, but we haven't been convincing. Feels the same for a lot of our recent games. Yeah. I'd argue for most of this season, let alone recent games. 4th tackle left for Newcastle at the 35, and Manalaluwa is trying to claim a high tackle here. Trying to claim a high tackle. And they'll call a late penalty. They will call a late penalty, and it'll be against Nat Butcher there. Don't think Blaze is sick. Just changing countries, travelling differently, beds all affect our general well-being. Yeah, especially when, I get all the different altitudes and long flights. Like it was a 7-8 hour flight from Da Nang to... Like this year alone, I've been in Fiji until late January, and then I was in Hong Kong for a couple of nights, and then I went to Ho Chi Minh for about a month or two, and then I went to Thailand for about 5 weeks, and then I went back to Ho Chi Minh for about a month, and then I went to Nha Trang for 3 weeks, and then I went to Da Nang for 3 weeks, and then now we're here in Kazakhstan for about a month before I go to Kyrgyzstan and whatnot. So yeah, like it takes a toll, bro. It does. It takes a toll. There might be a bin here. There may be a bin coming up. I don't know if this is a bin though, is it? I don't know if that's a bin, is it? I don't think that should be a bin. Oh, they probably will call this a bin, to be fair. Like, it is direct shoulder into the head, but is it a bin, though? Like, he's come off the field with HIA, so, like, they usually do... Well, no, that's not a shoulder charge. No. That's not a shoulder charge. But also, yeah, it's just a report, no sin bin. That was not a shoulder charge, man. David says something. That's right. How was your swim in the toilet? You need help. Klopp, the new German manager. Pep turns down Italy. Good. But yeah, Klopp to Germany is huge. So now they'll be taken down here. The Knights at the 42 on the Roosters side of the field. They go Dylan Brown, and Dylan Brown gives it off close to 4 pass. But Thomas Cant, who'll be at the 35 now on 3rd tackle. Momentum kept him on the field. Yeah, it wasn't even close with a shoulder charge. I don't know what Jake's talking about there. 4th tackle at the 25. They go to the right-hand side. Sandon Smith, Dylan Brown. And Dylan Brown will be taken down at the 18 now, 5th tackle. Getting enough sleep? Yes. Yes, I am. Especially after that World Cup. That'll be... Oh, they're going to say he caught this in the infield. They're going to say he caught it in the field of play. I thought he was in the in goal, but James Tedesco rolls it back, and Nawinata Wase brings his ball out here to the 5 on 2nd tackle here. They are struggling for meters right now, the Sydney Roosters. And it'll be 3rd tackle at the 10. This is a good muscle upset. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. Oh, Tyson Frizzell, that's so stupid. That is a really stupid penalty. Tyson Frizzell, you have just given away one of the dumbest penalties. Oh, no, it was actually Matt Croker. I swear it was Tyson Frizzell. I'm pretty certain it was Tyson Frizzell, but they're showing Matt Croker there. That was so stupid. They were really muscling up and keeping him down there, but yeah, I always forget Michael Cheek is part of the Roosters. But they kick this ball out to the 28 on 1st tackle. Such a poor play just then from Tyson Frizzell. So 3 penalties to the Roosters, 2 penalties to the Knights. And Reece Robson to Siwa Wong. And Siwa Wong takes this to the 45 on their own side of the field. Gets this one across now to Hugo Savala. I think they're saying that Francis Manalua is out for the rest of the game. I think they just said that he failed his... Hey, is that what they've just said there with Jake Duke? Sherry Evans, he steps back, and then he'll be taken down to the 33 on 4th tackle. Who are they talking about being out? I feel like that has to be. It must be about Manalua. Sam Walker, short ball, Nat Butcher. This is a great set here. Get the ball to the 15. And now they get to the last. Sam Walker gets it across to Tedesco. Tedesco's going to run straight through here. That's all for defence there from the Knights. But that was a nice try from James Tedesco. That'll be a double for him. And they will take the lead. Well, this is the Roosters that you're expecting. It was a great set there. That was a great set. It's a great set there for the Roosters. They just run up the other end of the field. And James Tedesco will step onto the inside. And he will score a try. Steps onto the inside and gets the old try. Cat 2, I'm pretty sure he said, fair enough. So 36 minutes to go here of this game. And the old Chooka Chooksters will tie it up, and maybe they're about to see a 12-10 ball game. Oh, Edson, don't do this, bro. Please, please, don't do this, man. Don't do it. I'm not going to reply to you for your own sake. That's what I'm going to put out there. That's what I'm going to suggest. I'm not going to reply to that comment or read it out for your own sake. So 35 minutes to go here. This game 10-10, but it could be about to be a 12-10 ball game. Sam Walker surely gets this. His kicking recently has been awful, though. His kicking recently has been dreadful, but surely. Lucas has been taken to hospital. Oh, they're talking about Dylan Lucas, I think. But put him back on the field and also fractured ankle. No, he's out for the next 3 to 6 months. He's out for a long time. Unfortunately, his season is done. So he won't be back until, about pre-season. So Sam Walker, surely he gets this. He's usually a good kicker, just not recently. And that's what I'm talking about. He's been awful kicking recently. Sam Walker has been missing kicks for fun recently. But last year has nothing to do with anything, though, Edson. Last year, you did not need to win 7 out of your remaining 7 games to make the top 8. Like, you were already basically, like, in the top 8 and around the top 8 at the time. You weren't needing to win more games in your last 7 than you had all season. You need to, and this is why I tried to move on from it, Edson, but it's very, I'm going to reply to this. You need to win more games in your last 7 games of the season than you have all season. You need to win 7 out of your remaining 7 when you've only won 6 games through 20 rounds. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, what does last year have to do with anything? You were in a much better position last year to come home like a train. It wasn't like you were out of the 8. It wasn't like you were out of contention. You need to win every single game for the rest of the season. It's a completely different year to what happened last year. The Broncos in 2025 were in a far, far better position to make the finals. Far, far. And they made the top 4, mind you. They are mathematically out of the equation of a top 4, which tells you right now that it is such a different season. It's a completely different season to what we saw in 2025. And it'll be Fletcher Sharp taken down at 15. Can I ask you a question? Why don't you do the women's games? Because they're on now. They're on during the NRL. So how can I do the women's games if I'm currently streaming the NRL? It'll be Greg Marty will be taken down here at the 20 on second tackle. Okay, so it's very neutral in this game, but if they want to stop Teddy, they need to line him up and just show him it'll be happening in the rest of the game. Well, Tedesco, he's been a bit rough defensively, but attacking-wise, he's been unbelievable. Sam Walker kicking conversions is a good representation of how it feels watching Sydney play. Yeah, it's a great point. And yet I hear every single week from Buddy Haynes, he's saying, Sam Walker doesn't miss. Yeah, well, you reckon? You reckon? Oh my gosh, have the Roosters given away another high tackle here? Tanner Boyd couldn't dream missing those levels. That's exactly right. And, definitely high. That's high from Nat Butcher. That's a penalty. And a lot of the time, you'll typically see that as a bin. Tough draw too. Kalanke, there's so many things that go down this path. And that's why I didn't want to apply to it. But, like, last year's no... Oh, here we go. I mean, mathematically, we still can. Not saying we do. Mate, you just said you do. What? You just said that you think they make the top 8. I don't think we do. Yes, you did. You just said that you think... You're changing it around now. You're changing it around now. That's why my last 2 comments were jokes. Convenient. The old I was joking. Yep, the age-old I was joking. But anyway, Nat Butcher will give away the penalty, and the Knights... It was no bin, by the way. Knights now bring this ball here to the 30 on first tackle. Michael Prentice getting around the Roosters. Ziggy says backpedaling in comments because he got caught. And says, it just hasn't been the Broncos' year for a number of reasons. Regroup and refocus on a better 2027. Agree. Very difficult, though, because they're going to lose Payne Arce. They're going to lose Adam Reynolds. By the way, how many Knights players are available now? Because you've seen Tyson Frizzell go for a HIA. Manalua is off the field. You've also got no Dylan Lucas. Like, gee whiz. I feel like the Knights will upset the Roosters tonight. Do you, Elijah? Well, shiver me timbers. Second tackle now for the Knights. They're at the 23. And they'll go to the right. Crossland off to Dylan Brown. It's like, this is the thing, though. When people use it, if you ever, I just want to put this out there. If you ever get to a point, and this goes for Titans, this goes for quite literally every single team in the competition, 4th tackle for the Knights for 10. If you are ever talking in mathematical equations, it's not happening. If you're ever talking in like significant mathematical equations, Tom Young! Try time on the right wing. They will score, and it's 14-10 with a kick to come. That was a nice try. Probably the first try today from the Knights that the Roosters just haven't been awful for. That was a solid try from the Newcastle Knights, and Dom Young will go over. Just too easy at that right wing. Dylan Brown out to Fletcher Hunt, and that's a great pass there from Fletcher Hunt to Dom Young. Tried to the corner. Roosters are down 14-12, 14-10. Knights lead 14-10. This is a big kick here from Sandon Smith to take it up by 6. Come on, let's go. Well, it's a close game here. You were doing so well. He was doing so well, Nate. He was. But if you're ever at a point where you need... Again, the Broncos need to win more games in their remaining 7 games than they've won all season. And all season has been 6. Hasn't Sandon had a season? Well, I think Sandon's been pretty... not that great for the Knights, to be completely honest with you, man. I don't think Sando's been that great at all, really. I still believe that it's Fletcher Sharp. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. Fletcher Sharp should be in the 6 alongside Dylan Brown, but they had to put him at the fullback because Callum is out here in this game. And Fletcher Sharp has typically been seen in the 6 because Sando hasn't been that great. Storm under a lot of pressure next game. Both teams are under a lot of pressure. Storm and Rabbitohs are under a lot of pressure in the next game. Sandon Smith from this right wing. A very important kick here to put him up by 6. 30 minutes to go of the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 30 minutes to go here. You're not rage baiting though, man. Like, it was a genuine opinion. It's fine. Just double down on it and back it in. Like, shit me. I hate people who do this. Like, they say something expecting a different response. They don't get the response they want. People clown on them, and then they go, I was rage baiting. I was joking. Well, first off, you said that you were joking. Now you're saying you're rage baiting, so you're already contradicting yourself in regards to those two things. So which one was it? Was it rage baiting, or was it joking, or was it legitimate? I know that it was legitimate, and now that because you're on the back foot, now you're making it worse for yourself because you want everyone to continue to go at you. You aren't rage baiting, and also this isn't even a rage. Nobody here is getting rage baited by you because you're not even rage baiting. You just said something that you wanted to support your team, and that's fine to support your team. Supporting the Broncos is completely fine, but when you don't get the response that you want, you go into the jokes and in regards to the rage bait. It's not how it works, man. You can see right through that. Second tackle here at the 15, now the 20. Larry Johnson says, sharp train at the 1, bro. Ponga isn't worth the money. Larry, was this you who I was having this conversation with the other week? Who do you think the Storm Rabbits game? I'm going to lean with the Storm, Ian, but like I don't know. I actually still think the Rabbit. I don't know. It's very 50-50. It's in Sydney, isn't it? Rabbitohs without a couple of key their players. Jerome Hughes back for the Storm. I'm going to lean with the Storm. But it's such a hard one to call. And at the Dylan Brown at the 40, he'll kick this one down here to the 10. And where Billy Smith now is going to bring this ball out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. No, to the 15. First tackle. These Butcher brothers should be set for 10 with their high tackles tonight. Oh, yeah, it has been both Butchers. Did you message Hainsey when Walker missed his kick? He live with Link. Brenton, can you go and comment saying from BKRsport to Hainsey, can Sam Walker make a kick, let alone not missing a kick? I want you to throw that to him. Say that. Say that to him. Go and comment it. Because I don't think he'll check his phone. 4 tackle now at the 40. One of the few times I'm happy for lots of Chook's errors. Oh, dude, another knock on here from the Roosters. Oh, my gosh. They actually are fraudulent, aren't they? They actually are just fraud central. They really are. Do you think the NRL should stop giving points for buys? Why? Because it distorts the ladder? Not really. Wins are important. Points having the weekend off doesn't seem fair to the team that plays well but loses. What? Buys have no relevance to anything, ever. What? Like, buy points mean nothing. Buy points mean quite literally nothing. You could make the argument for, like, and also, mind you, there's not going to be many buys next year, but buy points mean absolutely nothing to warrant a conversation like this. Like, at the end of the day, how does it distort the ladder? Because ultimately, everyone gets the buys. Everyone. Like, I don't know why it's a conversational point. They go to the right, Dylan Brown, he'll get this ball back here to Trey Mooney. Mooney off here to Matt Croker. Croker to Fletcher Sharp, and Sharp now he'll get taken up to 13 on fit tackle. Ponga's the highest paid in the NRL and worth every penny. I don't think Ponga's the highest paid in the NRL. Is he? Dylan Brown will be taken up to 5. I don't know why he did that on fit tackle. Highest paid in the NRL. Is it? Is Cameron Ponga? I don't think it is it? Isn't it like Payne Haas now? I can't remember. How many other Larrys do you know? No, I don't know if it was you or if it was just somebody else in chat. Like, I'm trying to figure out and remind myself if it was you saying anything about Pong, because there's always going to be different opinions everywhere. So I say, it could be Dylan Brown. You might be right, Jake. It might be Dylan Brown and Payne Haas at the Rabbitohs. I'm not sure. What's Payne Haas' contract at the Rabbitohs? Who's injured for the Roosters? They've just said somebody's injured. Gone for tunnel. James Tedesco. Oh my gosh. Shocking play here from the Roosters. Robert Toy brings the ball to the 40 on fit tackle. Buy points have been introduced to give fans false hope when their team's at the bottom of the ladder with no wins. Hey, listen, as a fan of a team down the bottom of the ladder, I'll take it. Fletcher Sharp gets away to the 45 on first tackle. This is a deplorable performance from the Roosters, by the way. Knights, I can't believe you're only up by 6. This is a deplorable performance from the Roosters. Knights, I really want you to run away with this because the Roosters just don't deserve shit in this game, and I could still see the Roosters finding a way to win. I could still see it. I can still see them winning this game despite the fact that they just don't deserve it. And Knights, like, you should be you should have done much more with this, considering. And it'll be Dylan Brown taking it down now at the 25 on 4 tackle. I agree, Blackpool should be scrapped. It's pointless to award them as it only updates each round. But what's the conversation about? Like, what's the reason? Like, I don't understand why there is like an anti-buy. The buy points mean nothing. They don't mean anything. So it's like, if they exist or they don't exist, what's the point of the conversation? Like, why are we hounding in on if buy points should be added or not? Buy points mean quite literally nothing. Like, quite literally. So Dylan Brown has gone down injured right now. God bless him. I hope he's okay. Touch wood. Yeah, his knee. No, I don't think it's like too bad, but he is down on the ground here still. Oh, he's grabbing it. He's got his left knee bandaged, and they are grabbing at his left knee right now. You don't want to see that. They've already lost multiple players here. Dylan Lucas, potentially Dylan Brown. Jeez, Callum Ponga. Knights are going through. Yeah, his knee just buckles there. Yikes. Yeah, the left knee, which is already bandaged up. He looks okay though. Oh, he can't really walk. It's a massive limb. Dylan Brown comes up the field. So Fletcher Sharp will come into the halves. I would assume that Fletcher Hunt will go to the fullback. Yeah, this is becoming... Hold on. So Daniel Tupou is out for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury. Dylan Brown, we're going to wait and see what happens here, but I'm sure he won't come back. Obviously, Dylan Lucas will be out for the rest of the season with his injury before. Jeez, it's been a rough night in regards to the old injuries. Ponga is the highest paid per year, while Brown has the biggest contract all up. Fair enough. What's Payne Haas on then? Jeez, Rabbit's got him on a seal. Sam Walker will grab this ball at 10. It'll be first half with the Roosters. Hainsey said ever since he has been in a Queensland jersey, he has as a penalty here to the Roosters. But the thing is that Hainsey would always say that Sam Walker definitely doesn't miss an Origin. What are you talking about? Ponga and Brown out. That's about 1/3 of your salary cap on the sideline. That is a point to be made in terms of the Knights' poor salary cap situation. That is a significant point to be made. Sad about Dylan Lucas because he was in career best form for the Knights, yes. For the Knights. Not necessarily for Origin, but for the Knights. Yeah, Dylan Lucas has been fantastic. 25 minutes to go here in this game. Oh, there's going to be a bin, maybe. Oh, no, he's just warning the captain. Are they saying Trey... Okay, well, he's gone and just spoken to Trey Mooney there. Usually you bring the captain over, which is Franz Crossland, but He just went and spoke to Trade Mini himself. We have players falling like flies. How aren't the Chooks in front? I'd make an argument for both in regards to how aren't the Knights up by more, but also how aren't the Roosters in front. I don't think that either team would be super happy with how this has played out, but especially on the Knights, because obviously they are dropping like flies. But I will also say that the Roosters have been a bottom 4 team in a lot of this game here today, and the Knights are only up by 6 regardless. But the Roosters should win from here based off of these outs too. So if they don't win, then that's a positive for the Knights. But also the Knights haven't been spectacular today by any means. So they go to the left, Reece Robson off to Victor Radley, and Radley now beat the 45 on third tackle. They're only down by 6. At least it's a close game, though. It'll be Sam Walker, James Tedesco. Tedesco at the back now to Savala. Savala will beat the 30. Forward tackle. They give it out to Sam Walker. Sam Walker to Victor Radley. And Radley on fifth tackle. He'll be at the 25. How the refs been this game? I wouldn't say this has been a badly ref game. I don't think that there's anything really noticeable about the referees that I could think about today. Nuana Tuase goes up for it, catches it, and he's just going to get taken over the sideline here at the 10. Not good enough for the Roosters. Good there for the Knights. If buys cause confusion with ladder positions during the season, if the points are needed, they should just start every team on 6 points to avoid the confusion. Well, no, at that point, you'd just be making it 0 points. But, like, guys, we're all adults here. Like, this is such an irrelevant conversation, with all due respect. It is such an irrelevant conversation. We're all adults. We can all add up to the fact that these points are all the same at the end of the year. Who cares about buy points? Whether they don't exist or they do exist, it is completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. It is so irrelevant. Give 100 points per buy for all I care. Like, who cares about buy points? Every team gets them. And also, mind you, we're at an even amount of teams next year, which means there will only be buys, like we used to have before the Dolphins came in, around the origin period. Buy points are irrelevant. Matt Croker's going to get this ball after a great offload there from Fletcher Sharp, and they'll be at the 40 now on fit tackle. Broncos are ahead of the Tigers in the ladder, but they have less wins. Who gives a fuck, bro? Like, they're gonna be. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Because by the end of the season, if it stays that way, then the Tigers will be above them. Like, but by the end of the season, if it stays that way, the team who has more wins will finish above the other. This isn't rocket science, Peter. I know you're smarter than this. This is not rocket science. Who gives a shit what it says now when you know full well that the buy points will come? Who cares? Anyway, I'm going to move on from this conversation because this is actually really dumb. I'm feeling actually dumb having this conversation about buy points that everybody gets. Roosters are away here. Nat Butcher. Tedesco for a hat trick. Tedesco for a hat trick. I actually am feeling like I'm losing IQ points talking about buy points and relevance behind buy points that everybody gets. It's actually insane. But Nat Butcher breaks through here, and it's about to be a tight ball game because James Tedesco will score a hat trick. If you're all that confused, just look at the games played and won. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Exactly right. My gosh. James Tedesco will score. And that's a hat trick. Hattie hat trick for James Tedesco. And this game is about to be a tied ball game. Are you doing Sharks game? Walter's keeper. I'm live for every single game of Rugby League. I have not missed a single game all season. Of course I'll be live for the Sharky Sharks. I will be live to pull my hair out watching them. I mean, for buys, I guess if you're 2 points away from making the 8 and you have a buy, then you're nearly certain to get into the 8. But also, if the team in the 8 spot wins, then you're not making the 8. Who cares? 13 wins gets you into the 8 if you've got a decent enough points differential, potentially. Dan has said no such thing as buy points. The ointment are either straight or... Okay. Yep. It's going to be a good game. Yeah, look, Michael, it's a close game. I will say that the Roosters should have been far better here today. but they probably should win because that's what they usually do in second halves. The Knights have lost a lot of players. They should have been up by a lot more, but obviously they've lost guys like Dylan Brown. They've lost Dylan Lucas for the season. They've got no Callum Ponga today. The Knights have excuses, but the Knights also still need to win 2 wins for the rest of this season, and losing these key players is pretty crucial. But overall, the Roosters should go on to win this game, and it will be a nice win, a really nice win for the Knights if they can find a way to win despite their players going down. Get around your Dan. Arlo says, how many more wins do Manly need to make the 8? Manly are currently on 9 wins. They need 4 more wins for the season. Manly have 4 more wins. They need to get to 13 because their points differential is amazing. So they'll be sweet. They'll be sweet. So Manly, they need to win 4 games out of the Sharks, the Storm, the Dolphins, the Knights, the Dragons, and the Warriors. You should beat the Dragons. You should beat the Storm. That's 2. They need to find 2 more wins out of... You should beat the Knights if you believe that you're a top 8 team. So that's 3. And then you got to beat one of the Sharks, the Dolphins, or the Warriors. But if you're going to be in the top 8, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, if you're good enough, you should be beating all of them. Rooster says, to get off the topic of buy points, thank you, Rooster. Thank you. Thank you. Should the NRL bring the draft? I don't know if the ability is there. I don't know if we have enough population size and ability to really get a draft in. But I would love it. I think it'd be awesome. That's a terrible pass there from Reece Robson. It's going to be a knock-on for the Roosters, and the Knights are going to get the ball here at the halfway point. The Knights are going to get the ball at the old halfway point. David says Manly should have beaten the Eels and Titans. Wrong. Manly should have actually lost to the Titans in that first matchup, but the Titans missed their conversions. Shot ball off the points. It's what happens. At least it was in the attack and a half, but yep. You feel confident about Titans on Sunday? It's a tough game, especially no Brimson. Brimson isn't really the major factor, man. But, I am confident. Yeah, I am. However, I also just know that it just depends on what team turns up on the day, whether that be Titans or Dragons. Like, both teams are due to look awful in a game. Like, both teams are due to look really poor. Probably more so the Dragons in a way because they've been actually looking a lot more consistent recently. Not winning, but consistently better. While the Titans started that Bulldogs game. Should win for Manly isn't a given. I'm saying should win for Manly isn't a given anymore. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I agree with what you're saying there. So 4 tackle at the 35, and I'll go to the right-hand side. Fletcher Sharp. Oh, that's poor defense. Well, good catch from Dom Young. Could have easily been a knock on there a couple of times. And Dom Young, taking down to the 20 on fit tackle. Surely Matty Johns can bring the biff to the club. Yeah, no, he's doing a lot behind the closed doors, I tell you. Crossland, Manalua. Do you guys realise it's fit tackle here, Knights? Or... Oh my gosh, that's going to be an offside penalty. I actually am astounded, Roosters. I'm actually astounded at what I've just witnessed. It's going to be a penalty to the Knights here for the Roosters knocking the ball on into an offside player who's then grabbed it and tried to run. That's actually incredible. It's incredible. Take the 2 here every day of the week, Knights. Take the 2 every day of the week. Every day of the week. So he's going to offload this ball here on fit tackle. Cherry Evans, why are you even trying to swipe at that ball when it's fit tackle? It's such a hard game, Mitch. Mitch kind of says he's tipping the Storm South game. It's such a difficult game. I'm probably going to lean with the Storm because Jerome Hughes is back and they got Harry Grant and the likes. But my gosh, I just don't know. The Rabbitohs got a lot of players out. You know, Storm have still got Munster out, but you know, overall, I probably will take the Storm, but I'm not convinced on either of those 2 teams. Everyone says, how have the Knights gotten away with that? No, I don't know. But they are. Now Smith just needs to get this kick. Look, I know the Roosters are a main contender, are they? And they are one of the threats to Penrith, are they? But they're not convincing me they can beat Penrith despite them winning the last few weeks. Don't disagree. 16.5 minutes to go here to game. That's why I keep saying, someone needs to stand up and say, I'm going to win the comp right now. It's not going to be the Roosters right this very second. Sharks and Warriors, it's on you now to make that statement this week. If you don't, then we go again next week. Sharks play Manly, Warriors play Dogs, and Sandon Smith's going to miss this kick. You're kidding me. You're kidding me, Sando. That should have been a kick you kick in your buddy's sleep. He should have kicked that in his sleep. What have you sent me on ChatGPT, guys? Jared says, only because of South's outs and Hughes in, I'll tip Storm, but not betting my money on it. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But Sandon Smith missing that kick is brutal. How have you missed that? They're going to go for the short kick here. I don't think that went 10. Hasn't gone 10. So that's a penalty to the Roosters. A penalty to the Knights. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, Roosters. You are fucking unbelievable. You are unbelievable. You are unbelievable. I can't believe it. I cannot. Oh, it's going to be contestable. Like, if it wasn't contestable, that would have been a penalty in front of the sticks. And so it's going to be contestable. So it's going to be just Knights ball at the 30 here. But if they don't, that would have been the most insane thing for them to miss the kick. Anyway, so it's 15 minutes to go here. They don't get the penalty because it was a contestable kick. It'll be first tackle with the Knights. 28 minutes away from the line. Have we had a really good game this season? Yeah, Panthers versus Warriors was really good. Titans versus Dragons was amazing. So they'll go Tigers versus Knights, which is electric 2-3 weeks ago. Third tackle now for the Knights there at the 15. Greg Martiu. He'll be... that Eels Raiders game. Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable stuff. They go to the right defence. Crossland, fourth tackle. Crossland at the back here to Sandon Smith. Underneath to a juggling Celesi Leomwana. Schmozzle said. Schmozzle. Fifth tackle. Sandon Smith kicks his ball across. What? I'm actually not minding this game. Like, it's not a bad game. It's just not a quality game. It's not a bad game. So, knock on from Dom Young. He's, like, spiked that ball into the ground forward. The fact that Roosters are competing for top 4 is a bad look for the quality of the league. And, let's scratch that. The fact that Roosters are competing for the minor premiership right now, man. If they lose this game... Well, no, if they win this game, they'll be one game short of the Panthers. And the Roosters still get to play the Panthers in about 3 weeks' time. And the Panthers still get to play the Warriors. The minor premiership is still being chased by this team right now. It's amazing. Roosters, Sharks in Perth. Duraz, we're going to see you in 1 minute. You can get a 1 minute for reminding me of that game. You can get a 1 minute. Fourth tackle now for the Roosters. They're going to be the 45. And Reece Robson and James Tedesco. Tedesco at the back now to Sam Walker. Sam Walker, left-hand side. Now Butcher. Savala off to Billy Smith. He's on the wing because Daniel Tupou is obviously out injured. Fifth tackle now at the 35. And they'll kick this one up. They're going to allow it to come out the back. Knights will get it. That's going to be a 0 tackle here for the Knights at the 25. The fact the Knights are 1 win out of the top 4 is also disgraceful. Well, they're actually... Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they can't go by the Sharkies today. Oh, you're kidding. Knights have knocked the ball on at the 30. The Knights have given a full set here to the Roosters. 30 metres out here from the Knights line. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Bad play of the ball there, and the Roosters are going to go on to the attack. Don't forget Roosters. Rabbitohs versus Storm right after this one. 13 minutes to go here. I'm enjoying this game. Entertainment, good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, I'd agree, Manuel. Like, it's not an amazing game by any stretch of the imagination, but like, it's a close game. We're going down to the wire. 2 teams getting the top 8. 2 teams competing for the top 4. 2 teams technically competing. That's a penalty high tackle. Oh, lucky. First tackle with the Roosters at the 24. 2 teams that are technically still competing for the minor premiership, specifically the Roosters. Spencer Lenu now is going to get this ball to the 15 on second tackle. This is a massive hangover year of how quality last year's comp was, though. Massive hangover year. Sam Walker at the back. Cherry Evans will be taken down to the 10 on third tackle now. It's like both sides want this to be a draw because all the errors from both sides. A draw actually probably helps both. It probably helps both. Nafahu White is 2 metres away here from the line. Reece Robson, he'll get this ball across here. Great pass to Sam Walker. Sam Walker gets it off to Savala. Savala out to the left-hand side. And it's going to be Billy Smith. 6 again, but might not need it. Oh, 1 metre out from the line. First tackle over the Roosters. First tackle for the Roosters, 1 metre away. 12 minutes left. Sam Walker to Victor Radley. Radley to Nafahu White. Really pointless pass there from Victor Radley. But Nafahu White will be taken down here about 5 metres out. Second tackle. Reece Robson. He was going to go left-hand side. Sam Walker should be a try over the top here. Beautiful pass. And that is a good try for Billy Smith. That is a beautiful try there for Billy Smith. And Sam Walker, that was a pinpoint perfection of a pass. That is a pinpoint perfection of a pass from Sammy Walker. Unbelievable stuff. 2016 with a kick to come. It's a very costly error from Bradman Best to give them the ball to 30. And then Sam Walker, the double pump, flicks it over the top there. And I think the pass is fine. Like, I can hear boos, but I'm pretty certain the pass is fine. I'm pretty certain. Andrew says it stuck to his hand, too much of the sticky spray. You know that happens, though, man. It's happened a lot this year. We've seen a lot of it recently as well, specifically. A draw is a good result in the game where both teams deserve to lose. There is that option, Dan, but the reason why I say it's actually a good result for both these teams is because the Roosters have got plus 84. They're competing for the minor premiership, but the Warriors are plus 202, the Panthers are plus 284, and even the Sharks are plus 125. So the Sharks, they get equal on points. They will actually go above the Roosters. The Roosters will be below the Warriors and also the Panthers there, even if they got to the same amount of points. So a draw would bring them within 3 of the Panthers. They would still need to beat the Panthers, but they would also need the Warriors to beat the Panthers, and then the Warriors would lose somewhere else for the rest of the season, and then it would benefit them greatly because then they don't have to think about their points differential, right? For the Knights, well, their biggest concern, and this is everyone's biggest concern on the edge of the top 8 right now, waiting for the conversion. Everyone's biggest concern on the edge of the top 8 right now is a team called the Manly Shingles, the Manly Seagulls, right? So they're on plus 126. Everybody else, Dolphins plus 84, Knights plus 37, Rabbitohs plus 76, Cowboys shocking minus 36, Bulldogs minus 70, Storm minus 10, Raiders minus 81, and that's about it. So you look across all that and you say, well, shit, if Manly can just find a way to get to 32 points, they're guaranteed because their points differential is amazing. So the Knights would avoid that. They would also get a point here, which would put them 5 points above Manly. I think overall they would be happy with it. Again, it's not going to be a draw, but Sam Walker, big kick from the sideline against it. 22-16 with 10 minutes to go to the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. 22 points to 16 to the Sydney Roosters with 10 minutes to go. Peter says, people are forgetting about the Cowboys. They're coming home strong. Peter, have you watched the Cowboys at all this season? Or coming home strong? They were amazing against the Dolphins last week. Peter, what do you mean the Cowboys are coming home strong right now? Peter, what are we watching? 10 minutes to go here, Roosters with the ball at 20, and there's a penalty to the Roosters. Yeah, this game's just changing around, isn't it? This game's just changing around. Peter. Peter, what are we doing? What are we doing? They lost 36-16 to the Dolphins last week. Mind you, the week beforehand, the Dolphins lost 66-0 to Cronulla. And the Cronulla Shark is a scam. They're a massive scam. Massive scam. So they're going to challenge this call here, the Knights. And, ooh, there's a bumper here from Spencer Leniu. They're going to penalise Spencer Leniu. But does Manalua... Oh, it is a shoulder charge. He is kind of coming with a shoulder there. He's not wrapping his arm. Cowboys win, Broncos terrible. Also, don't disagree with that, sir. No, they're going to say this is a tackling motion here from Francis Manalua. So it's going to be Knights ball here. Oh, no, it's not going to be Knights ball. It's going to be Roosters ball. There's no knock on or anything like that. So it's going to be Roosters ball at 20. I think Cowboys Broncos is a tough game to read. Obviously, we'll be live with that tomorrow. I mean, it's a tough game to read tomorrow. Especially with Tommy Dearden out, though. Tom Dearden out of the Cowboys is huge. Cowboys are a dark horse, but coming strong. I don't know how the Cowboys are a dark horse. Like, the Cowboys this year have scored 424 points. That's behind Panthers, Roosters, Warriors, Sharks, Dolphins, Knights, Rabbitohs, Manly. It's close behind the Storm, but it's not. So they are not in the top 8 currently for attack, and defensively 460 points. That's behind the Panthers, the Warriors, the Roosters, the Sharks, the Dolphins, the Knights, the Rabbitohs, the Manly Seagulls, the Bulldogs, the Storm, the Broncos. Oh my gosh, they're not even in top bloody 12 for their defense right now, the Cowboys. Yeah, not happening. First tackle now for the Knights, they're going to be the 25. What are we talking about coming up strong? I have Brisbane 13 plus. I just have a feeling they'll want to make Peyton pay for his comments. I don't think that's got anything to do with it. I think that what's got to do with is that they still believe there's a chance, if they genuinely do. Not that it happens, but they need to win 7 out of their last 7. Third tackle now for the Knights at the 35. Marcus says, Cowboys never dark horse. They're weak in defence. Yep, they're not even in the top 12 for defence. They go to the left. Manalua right through the line. Manalua right through the line. They've got Bradman Best. Bradman Best. Try time for the Knights. Try time for the Knights. It's 22-20 with the kick to come. This is actually a good game. It's a good game, this. 22-20. This is a big kicker from Sandon Smith, who has not been good with the boot today. Sandon Smith has not been good with the boot today. So he needs to get this kick. All right. Pace says the joke. Yeah, it always conveniently is a joke, isn't it? It's convenient. Malalua has had a breakout game here today. He's been unbelievable. Yeah, there is another game after this, Jason. It is the Storm versus the Rabbitohs. That is the other game right after this. Trade says, yeah, but to be fair, they also beat Penrith and Roosters and have a bye. I don't think they'll win the comp, but they have a good team on paper. Disagree with you. 7.5 minutes to go here to game. But anyway, this stream's not about the Cowboys, but I disagree with you. It's quite significantly as well. Just another thing, this is coming Newy. Good try there. Bradman Bears. Manalua has been brilliant today. If they miss his kick, I'll flip out. This is where he missed the penalty from. He missed the penalty from this area. All right. Oh no, I just realised Brenton. Oh, if he misses his kick, it's a 2-point game. Which goes back to our conversation at the beginning of the stream. Oh no, Renton. It couldn't happen to you 3 weeks in a row, could you? What was it, 24-22? And then last week was what, 22-20 Sharks? Oh no. Surely he gets this. But then if you give away a penalty, that'd be brutal. He can't miss. Surely not Sunday. 7 minutes to go here. Surely he gets this. Slap it in, Sando. Slap it in, son. And Sandon Smith, he will make this kick. 22-20. 22-20. If we lose you to kick, can I just lose my mind or something? Manalua, 1 try, 1 try assist, 2 line breaks, 5 tackle bars, 16 tackles, and 133 run meters. He's been brilliant today. All right, 7 minutes left. Comment in the chat who you think wins it from here. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. We've got one more game after this, Rabbitohs Storm. Tomorrow we have some interesting, sneaky little games with Raiders, Tigers, Bulldogs, Warriors, and Cowboys, Broncos. But if this comes down to field goals, which it is right now, you would say that the Roosters have the advantage with Sam Walker and Cherry Evans, but mainly Sam Walker here. Knights, field goal-wise, you'd be looking at maybe like a Dillbags or a Sando Smith, but I don't think Dillbags is massive on the old field goals. I think Sando Smith probably has to be the guy. And now they'll get this ball, Knights to the 20. Sharp train try time, Larry says. That'll be a massive, amazing try there. And it would, I believe that if you win this game here, Knights, you're guaranteed top 8. If you lose it, there's still no guarantee. But if you win this, you're guaranteed. You only need to win one more game for the rest of the season. Fit tackle. And Phoenix Crossland's going to put this ball up. Not a good kick there. It's going to go straight down the guts there to Billy Smith at the 20. It's way too easy there. You've got to be putting pressure on them. You've got to be driving them down. Now they're going to be at the 33 and they're going to be in range. Roosters going to be in range at the end of the set here. Sluggerama says, no more tries, please. It kills my multi. They are, I do know, Sluggerama, all 26 players on the field right now are actually thinking about your multi. Yeah, they all are, every single one of them. It's actually amazing, really. They were saying it beforehand. I hope we don't ruin Sluggerama's multi. So third tackle here for Siwa Wong. He was actually the ringleader. He was saying, I really hope we don't lose it for him. I go to the left-hand side to Victor Radley. Radley got to Nafahu White. And Nafahu White's going to get this offload away to Reece Robson. Robson gets across here to Victor Radley. Radley here at the 40. He's going to fit this ball over the top to Robert Toya. Toya's got some space. Toya's away here. Robert Toya. Tedesco for 4. Robert Toya. 3 metres out. 2 metres out. Oh my gosh, 4 tackle. They're going to be 1 metre away from the line. They get back, out to the back here. Oh my... Spencer Leniu, you are a dribbler. Spencer Leniu, you are a dribbler. First tackle now for the Knights. They're going to be at the 20. I can't believe they just blew that. They just blew the game-winning win. They just blew that so bad. Spencer Leniu, knock on to the 10. Wow. Robert Toya would be spewing. He would be spewing. I mean, Toya should just dive. He did try to get to the line. Third tackle out the 25. We're not blaming Toya. There's no way we're blaming Toya for what just happened. I refuse. And now it's going to be 30 metres away from their own line. That's crazy. And they go out to the right-hand side, and Brodie Jones is going to be at the 35. That was a great run from Robert Toya. You need a better kick here, Sandon. Oh, it's Phoenix Crossland going for a kick here. Little bit of a wobbly one. It's going to end up in a 7-tackle set. No, that's going to go too far. So unlucky for the Knights. So unlucky. This is a great finish in this game. 4 minutes to go here, folks. 4 minutes to go. Oh, referee, get off it. Everyone says no wonder he'll offered him a contract. Spencer says surplus. No. Seb says they did that for my man's multi. Yeah, exactly right, Seb. Sluggerama. Robert Toy not scoring just then, and Spencer Leniu dropping it was actually deliberately for you. Yes. Siwa Wong, first tackle at 35, 3.5 minutes to go to the game. And Spencer man the match for the Knights. Left-hand side, Victor Radley. Tedesco, nearly knocks it. Sam Walker with the ball. Sam Walker's still going here. He'll be taking out at 45. The Knights are getting absolutely smashed in the middle of the park right now. They're getting absolutely smashed right now. Second tackle at the 45. Tedesco's going to run this ball off to Sam Walker. Reece Robson. Reece Robson steps around. He's still moving. Gets the offload away. Nat Butcher at the 40. He's at the 35 on third tackle. Roosters, you need to win this to stay in the hunt for the minor premiership, and Knights, you need to win this to stay in the hunt for the top 4 and to guarantee yourself a spot essentially in the top 8. Spencer Leniu, if you drop this ball here, I'm going to flip my own shit right now. 4 tackle here at the 20. Reece Robson. He'll go to the left-hand side to James Tedesco. You've got to go for the field goal right now. 13 metres away. Fit tackle. Where's Sam Walker? Where's Cherry Evans? Cherry Evans with the ball. 20 metres out. Bang. He got it. That's a massive field goal there from Chezza. That is so clean. That is such a clean field goal there from Daly Cherry Evans. 23-22 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go here to game. Cherry Evans, that is a clean shot there. Reece Robson, beautiful ball. Can't ask for a better pass there from Reece Robson. And Cherry Evans has just slapped that right over the sticks and just gone bing, bang, boom in your mouth. DC done it again. Well, there's still 2 minutes 40 to go here. This is why we got him still not over. Well, I'm just surprised at Cherry Evans. I guess it's because of the experience, but it's like Sam Walker knows how to kick a field goal. Like, they've got great field goal takers. Short one here for the Knights. Dom Young knock on. Nat Butcher gets it. Still got a chance here, Knights, but just don't concede anything right now. Nat Butcher's going to bring this ball here to the 35 on 0 tackle. Or a farmer shot of that kick. It was a brilliant kick. So he says that's what experience gets you in those situations. I agree. It was so clean. It was perfect there from Chezza. You know, Sam Walker, I was expecting him to be the guy, but Chezza steps up and you couldn't ask for anything better. And it was obviously designed. Obviously, they believe in Cherry Evans more as a field goal taker than Sam Walker because Sam Walker wasn't even in the play. He was at the back to the left. Third tackle now for the Roosters. Nafahu White will be the 35. Short line says, short line's the game of the round. Last 10 minutes of the round. Last 20 minutes of the round. It's been like a decent game. It's just that this last 10 minutes has sent it off the scale for sure. Reece Robson, he'll go to the right-hand side. Cherry Evans up to Siwa Wong. And Siwa Wong with a good run. He'll bring this ball now to the 13 on fit tackle. Can they seal it with a try right now? Can they seal it right now? Reece Robson to Cherry Evans. He'll kick this ball up here for Marky Mark. Number to Wase. Caught by Bradman Best. They've actually locked out one to Wase really well here today, the Knights. They've locked him out really well, but 90 seconds to go here. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Knights will bring this ball to the 10 on second tackle. They've got to go 90 metres, son. 90 metres. Otherwise, their top 8 is still not guaranteed. And they've lost big players in Dylan Brown and Dylan Lucas today through injury. They go to the right to Fletcher Sharp. Sharp now to Fletcher Hunt. Fletcher Hunt gets off to Dom Young. Dom Young here at the 15 to the 20. And now before tackle. Jeez, good defense here from the Roosters at the moment with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go here. They'd love a 6 again here, the Knights. They go to the left-hand side off to Thomas Cant, and that's not the play. You can't be taking a hit off there on hit up there on 4 tackle. 20 metres out. 50 seconds to go here, down by 1. The Knights, Matt Croker. Oh, no way. No way. That is actually a wild... So the Roosters are going to get a penalty here and they're going to go for the 2 to win the game by 3. That is actually amazing. So what's happened is on fit tackle at their own 40, down by 1, Sanders Smith ran the ball into the line and got tackled on fit tackle. Wasn't looking to kick the ball. Wasn't looking to pass the ball. On fit tackle, down by 1, with 50 seconds to go in the game, he ran the ball into the line and got tackled. Oh, man. Oh, Roosters, you deserve to go on fraud alert, but I won't put you on there. Anyway, they're not even going to go for the 2. They're just going to take it. There we go, guys. That's the game. That's the game. The final score will be 23-22 to the Roosters. Crazy finish we just had just then. Crazy, crazy finish. But Newcastle, I don't know how you just threw away that last that last little bit there. But guys, we're going to really quickly go across the Rabbitohs for a Storm game because that starts in quite literally 3 minutes time. So do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Appreciate you as usual, and I'll see you over on the next stream in just a few minutes time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya. That ending to that game, that was incredible from Sanders Smith. That was...